cut more than 2,000 roles here in Washington. Nearly 1,900 are in Seattle, with hundreds more in Bellevue. Positions range from tech to human resources and design. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke with stunned workers and insiders concerned about what's next.
It's one thing to hear about it,
and our team was talking about it.
It's another.
And I see the email that I was impacted by the layoffs.
To go through it.
I don't know what happens now. Just kind of in disbelief.
We spoke with this Amazon employee. She was one of the 14,000 company-wide layoffs at Amazon. And she tells me what stings the most about it. She just moved here 6 months ago for the job.
Air traffic controllers at SeaTac Airport worked their first day without a paycheck, and they're alerting travelers to what's at stake. KIRO News Radio's James Lynch reports.
Off-duty air traffic controllers spent Tuesday morning handing out pamphlets. They want to educate the public on the critical role air traffic controllers play and how the shutdown hurts them and their families. Air Traffic Controllers Association Vice President Mark Rouse says the government shutdown needs to end now.
You're flying from Seattle to New York. The entire trip, your aircraft is in constant communication with air traffic controllers that aren't being paid.
Rouse says air traffic controllers are also working mandatory overtime, which adds to their stress and increases the chances of mistakes. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
I-90 westbound will remain open in Cle Elum for now. Governor Bob Ferguson says closures will be needed to repair an overpass that was damaged by an oversized truck. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Manlavin has more.
The overpass was demolished in a single night, allowing traffic to open back up. However, rebuilding it will take months. So our next update for this stretch of the road likely won't be until December. Until then, we can expect periodic closures of westbound lanes here as needed.
A former U.S. Army sergeant from Joint Base Lewis McChord is going to federal prison for 4 years.
Prosecutors say 31-year-old Joseph Daniel Schmidt tried to deliver national defense secrets to China. In June, he pleaded guilty to 2 felonies. Authorities say he left the military after a mental health episode and tried to move to China by offering its intelligence service sensitive information. He was an active duty soldier from January of 2015 to January of 2020, and he had access to secret and top secret intelligence. Frank Lenzi, KIRO News Radio.
The Edmonds Food Bank is teaming up with local restaurants to fight for food insecurity. The new partner program launched yesterday. The food bank's Kelly Lewis says restaurants can join for $250 and commit to charitable acts.
So they may do a food drive or a dine-out night or a menu item that goes to the food bank.
Food banks all across the country are expecting a surge in demand next week when funding for federal food benefits is set to pause. Lewis says the Edmonds Food Bank already serves more than 1,200 households every week, nearly double from 2 years ago. And Hurricane Melissa has caused significant damage in Jamaica, leaving many local residents and their families abroad anxious for updates. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss reports.
It can be a little bit scary, but, we're pretty resilient people. So I'm, hoping that, they're just riding this out, and I'll be able to talk to them probably tomorrow or in a couple of days.
I have real anxiety. I can't even watch the news.
Carlene Comrie, the owner of Taste of the Caribbean in Seattle Central District, says her brother, sister, nieces, and nephews are all safe. But after living through Hurricane Gilbert in 1988, she knows a long ordeal lies ahead.
A new measles case has been reported in King County, bringing the state's total to 12 this year. The patient who was vaccinated may have contracted the virus during a flight with a previously confirmed case. Public Health is advising caution for those who visited several Renton and Kent locations last week. Measles is highly contagious, but health officials say vaccination remains a strong defense. Now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Right now, Everett to Seattle about 27 minutes, Linwood to Seattle about 15 minutes, Marysville to Seattle about 32. Now on to your forecast on this Wednesday. We've got lots of clouds, but expect some sunshine later this morning with some isolated rain showers this afternoon. Highs again will be close to 70. Right now, it's about 43 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, an update on how the government shutdown is impacting airlines across the nation. We hear from News Nation reporter Xavier Walton. That's next. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
If you're a veteran struggling with your monthly bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage has some good news for you.
Rates have dropped recently, and this could be a great time for our veterans to think about a cash-out refinance to get out of your high-interest rate debt. For example, one of our clients had a 2.25% VA loan, but he owed more than $155,000 on credit cards and a home equity loan. So we paid off all of that debt and replaced his mortgage with a VA cash-out refinance. And the new VA loan saved him $1,268 per month. So give us a call and see if a VA cash-out refi can help save you money. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you can help non-veterans as well.
That's right. If you have a conventional loan, we'll run the numbers and see if we can help save you money, too.
Honest advice you can trust from the VA loan experts, Best Mortgage. Call now, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
If you were trying to fly anywhere in the U.S. over the weekend, you probably noticed widespread delays throughout the airlines.
With the government shutdown now reaching the 1-month mark, air traffic control staff are in some cases refusing to show up for work unless they begin to receive a paycheck again.
Following this story for News Nation is Xavier Walton. Good morning, Xavier. What's the full impact of these staffing shortages right now?
Well, good morning, and I honestly don't know if we've even felt it yet. So think about what you just said, refusing to show up to work. So imagine if you weren't getting paid, because that's essentially what's happening. Now they're being forced to work for free. Imagine if they just said, yeah, I'm not going to work today. Or even better, and this is a story I've kind of heard a couple of times now, which is really, really sad. We're not just talking about air traffic controllers, we're also talking about TSA officers. I was at the airport this morning talking to TSA, just, having a friendly conversation as a human being, just talking to them about what they're going through. And the guy was telling me about this story where he's had people call out, not show up to work because they can't afford after-school care. And so if they can't afford after-school care, they need child care, so they can't work. So now they have to go and take care of their child. I mean, so that's the kind of situation that's playing out when you talk about the thousands of, whether it's air traffic controllers or TSA officers, travel, at least right now, as the shutdown continues and these workers go without a full paycheck. I mean, you say pack your patience usually during the holidays. This time around, you really, I flew last week, and I'll tell you, you really want to tread lightly when you're working with TSA and some of these air traffic controllers.
Xavier, I think part of the concern here is a cascading effect. 2 workers don't show up today. Maybe it's 4 tomorrow, 8 the following day. Is this a sort of thing? I remember when the shutdown ended in 2019, it was air traffic control that really brought it to an end. Do administration staffers or Congress, do they believe that might be the case this time around too?
It's definitely a possibility, and that's something that Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, who has a press conference at LaGuardia here in about 10, 15 minutes. So I'm going to listen to that. But no. So that is certainly possible. Also, at 22 airports nationwide, air traffic controllers are picketing. They're trying to educate people on what the effect of not paying, air traffic controllers really is. And at the end of the day, I mean, if there's not enough people, and this is, coming from Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy, if there's not enough people to safely fly, you're going to start to see more ground delays and ground stops at airports. Yesterday when I was covering the story, I went on the website for the FAA, and I literally would go and click on the advisories and look up why. And of course, there's inclement weather, you've got storms, thunderstorms, you can't fly into that area. But then a lot of times I was looking in at these airports and I was seeing staffing as the reason for the advisory. And they've already said, the government's already said this is going to happen more and more and more as long as the shutdown continues. And this is the first full paycheck, right? Imagine what happens in a week, in 2 weeks. And what if we're still here in 4 weeks? That's when, some of the TSA people I was talking to, they're saying, hey, that's when we're really going to figure out what's going to happen. That's the breaking point. Even if, you had enough for this full paycheck, this first round to survive, what happens, in 2 weeks from now or a month from now?
You mentioned at 22 airports across the country, they're handing out leaflets. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association SeaTac is on that list. What's their main message to passengers that they're giving these leaflets to?
They essentially just want to, educate the people on the ripple effects of the shutdown. Everything for us folks, it's like, status quo. But once you're waiting on a tarmac for an hour, because why? Well, the planes are backed up because they don't have enough air traffic controllers to get planes to land. Then you'll start to fill it a little bit. I read something I didn't really know, but these air traffic controllers working a mandatory overtime 6 days a week, 10 hours a day for free. I think about that. If you were working, it's bad enough you're working overtime. You're not getting paid to work overtime. You get 1 day off, and a lot of them are, I'm being told they're taking up second jobs. They can barely make ends meet. I think that's part of the conversation you're going to hear at some of these airports nationwide. I don't think people really understand, just because their lives haven't been impacted, by the shutdown yet, they don't really fully understand the gravity of the situation. I think that's the message they're trying to relay at some of these airports. And then why they're going to be picketing. It'll be a powerful scene at LaGuardia here if Transportation Secretary Duffy is there. And then they're also handing out, picketing and handing out these leaflets, as you mentioned. I was talking about it this morning. That's a powerful sign to see Transportation Secretary on one hand, and then also, these air traffic controllers that are saying, hey, I'm having a problem putting food on the table, please end the shutdown, even though it's not up to him, obviously. But it does apply a certain amount of pressure, if you will.
News Nation's Xavier Walton. Thank you, Xavier.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast on this Wednesday morning, we've got a bunch of clouds right now, but we'll have some sunshine and intermittent showers later this afternoon. Highs will be close to 60. Right now, it's about 43 in downtown Seattle. And coming up next, we chat with New York Times investigative reporter David Fahrenthold. The president is saying he is not ruling out a run for a third term in 2028. We'll have more on that next. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with Shannon O'Kelly, president and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy, inviting you to come work with IRG. And Shannon, what kind of staff are you looking for at IRG?
Brock, we're looking for all kinds of clinical staff, physical therapists, occupational therapists, athletic trainers, certified occupational therapy technicians, physical therapy assistants, you name it on the clinical side, we are looking for those folks. But we are really looking for folks that want to come to an organization that want to be part of our culture and change the culture and work with us to provide the best care and service we can to our patients, our team, and our community. So those clinical people out there, we're looking for you. We also provide advanced certification. We want to provide you mentorship. We want you to grow personally and professionally here at IRG.
And with over 40 clinics throughout the Pacific Northwest, you've got the opportunity to work in the city you want. Just head over to irgpt.com/careers. That's irgpt.com/careers.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Jason Rance here with our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn from None Better Tax Resolution. When it comes to the technology that the IRS is using, they're updating systems that haven't been updated in decades. And while that might sound great for them, it's usually bad for the taxpayer who owes.
It is, and their systems, unfortunately, they're just legacy systems. If you try to make an inquiry on some things, it's like you got to know how to use programming language to find it. But they are working on updating that system, and I hope that really they do, because they'll serve us better, the taxpayer better, and get things done quicker. The other thing they're doing is AI, just like every organization. So they're already using it to some extent to put in profile of certain things that they want to look for in a taxpayer and find those people and go after them or see what's going on, why they're not getting their money.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, call Greg Nunn, None Better Tax Resolution, 425-947-1967, or Google NUNN, None Better Tax Resolution.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value, and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today, and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour, and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
The first few steps that I took in the morning were pretty painful.
This is Carlos.
I mean, I had been told by multiple orthopedic surgeons that there was no alternative for me.
That wasn't what he wanted to hear. You see, Carlos is an active guy.
I played basketball, and for 3 to 4 days after, my knees would just be so swollen. And now I can play basketball, and there is no swelling. There is no pain in the knees.
No swelling, no pain, because Carlos went to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I'm just happy to be able to be out there. And then knowing that tomorrow I am not going to suffer for this.
What do you say to your friends and family who are in pain?
I say, I had horrible knee pain, and stem cells really worked for me. You might want to go to Dr. Wagner, just get a consultation before you have surgery.
Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
You're miracle workers.
Don't know about that.
My drain was clogged.
Right.
You came in a jiffy.
And got right to work.
Now it's clear.
It's what we do.
do?
Like I said, you're miracle workers.
Actually, we're plumbers.
Apollo plumbers.
You want to see some real miracle workers?
Huh?
Just take a look at Seattle Children's.
Sure.
They're all hope, care, and cure.
All true.
And together, we can help them.
How so?
Your service fee?
Yeah?
Apollo Plumbing is donating it.
To benefit Seattle Children's Hospital.
We're donating all our service fees.
All month.
To help Seattle Children's provide outstanding care and support research.
And ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
That's the goal.
Gotta love that.
Gotta love the work they do at Seattle Children's.
So, I call, you come.
Apollo donates your service fee. All our service fees.
All month?
All the way to $20,000.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
Always ready, right now.
You really are miracle workers.
Aren't we all?
Maybe so.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Get a quote today at Progressive.com.
KIRO News Radio has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks game on Sunday, November 9th. Head to the KIRO News Radio app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the KIRO News Radio app, the better your odds will be. Do it every day, October 28th through November 3rd. Details and rules at mynorthwest.com/win. From the station where the 12s hear the Hawks, KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM. Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm Katrina Gashard. Hurricane Melissa tore through Jamaica with wind gusts topping 200 miles per hour. We're only just starting to learn the extent of the damage. CBS's Jason Allen spoke to one family during the storm that was working to save their businesses.
Popular tourist destination Montego Bay experienced powerful gusts and storm surge up to 4 feet high, about 60 miles away from the storm's center.
Yeah, I can see that. It's lifting off the supports.
We met Dawnette Prendergast.
So we're going to strap it down.
So you're going to strap that down?
We're going to strap it right now.
She and her family returned to their restaurant to secure the roof and items inside, trying to stop their livelihood from blowing away in the storm.
The destruction from Hurricane Melissa is being felt by those in our local Jamaican community. KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss reports.
Hurricane Melissa prompting Chris Hinton to close down his food truck in Everett for the day as he tried to get updates from his family back home in Jamaica.
Very painful. The roof is gone. Yeah.
Is everybody okay?
So far, I spoke with them earlier this morning. They were crying and the internet just went out. So I don't even know what's going on right now at this moment.
Others in the local Jamaican community are on edge as they get updates on the widespread destruction.
Hurricane Melissa has made landfall in southern Cuba as a Category 3 storm. Meanwhile, our state joins a coalition of others suing over a looming lapse in federal food benefits. CBS's Jim Krasula reports.
Democratic attorneys general and governors from 25 states and the District of Columbia have sued the Trump administration, seeking to force the continued funding of the SNAP program. The funding will be paused this weekend because of the federal government shutdown. 1 in 8 Americans use SNAP to help buy groceries. The legal action contends the Trump administration is legally required to use a contingency fund to pay for the food assistance program. President Trump is refusing to do that. Jim Krasula, CBS News.
About 900,000 Washington residents rely on SNAP benefits. We told you yesterday about Amazon cutting 14,000 jobs. Now a state filing shows more than 2,300 will be laid off here in Washington. Most cuts will be hitting Seattle and Bellevue, according to the Puget Sound Business Journal. Roles in software engineers, recruiters, and product managers will be impacted. Surveillance video captured a man setting fire to a family's Halloween decorations in West Seattle. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomi-Bao spoke with the homeowners and a neighbor who stepped in to help.
But we're very, very lucky because those bushes caught fire and it's right by the fence, right by the house.
A neighbor's camera caught the massive flames, but it was his cat who spotted them first.
I noticed my cat, Frankie, who's sort of a skittish cat, but generally would be asleep by then, standing on our dining room table and looking out in this direction.
Nick Haskell tells me he rushed out to confront the suspect. Hey! As he ran after him, other neighbors jumped in to put out the fires. For Becca, these decorations aren't just for show. They've helped turn neighbors into family.
A fire in Monroe left a family of 6 and their 8 dogs without a home on Tuesday morning.
Snohomish Regional Fire and Rescue arrived around 2 a.m. to find flames tearing through a home and a trailer near 208th Place Southeast and Old Monroe Duval Highway. There are no fire hydrants nearby, so crews had to truck water in up a steep dirt road. Family got out of the house. Firefighters rescued 6 husky puppies and 2 adult huskies. Nobody hurt, but the home is a total loss.
That was KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay reporting. Now to your KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. Tacoma to Seattle about 28 right now. Marysville to Seattle about 32. Everett to Bellevue about 21 minutes. And for your forecast on this Wednesday, we've got low clouds right now, but we should expect some isolated showers later this afternoon. Right now, it's about 43 in downtown Seattle. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Just
Bringing
kind of
you
in
Seattle's
disbelief.
morning news since 1974. This is KIRO News Radio.
New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold.
He joins us from the nation's capital. David, good morning. Let's start with the president claiming he's had a perfect MRI and that he would consider running for a third term. Do we know why he had an MRI in the first place?
We don't. This was the cause of this thing that they originally said was his second physical of the year. A few weeks ago, he went to Walter Reed. And people at the time had said Walter Reed Army Medical Center, which is traditionally takes care of presidents. It's one of the few things that it has that the White House Medical Center does not with an MRI machine. So we don't know what they were looking at, but there's an indication they were looking for something a little more concerning, or that they were concerned enough to order an MRI.
But the president says nothing to be concerned about.
I mean, to the degree that we can trust his own opinion about that, yes, that is what he said.
So let's move over to that second part. The president, he's talking about a third term. I wonder how much of this is trolling and how much of this is actually something he's considering.
Well, I think it's important to start by saying the Constitution says he can't serve the third term. It's very, very clear about that. And I don't see any effort to change the Constitution or anything else that would make that possible. Trump does have a habit, as we've seen many times before, of sort of testing ideas, boundary-breaking ideas like this out as sort of trolling. Like, oh, I'm thinking about it, just to gauge people's reaction. And sometimes it comes to nothing. Sometimes it just angers liberals and stirs people up. And sometimes it's real, like trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. So, I don't think you can say dismissively that he's not going to try, but you can definitely say for sure that he's not allowed to.
David, the government shutdown is now going into day 28, and it's about to have a massive impact. Talk to us about the SNAP programs.
Well, we've been talking all along about how this government shutdown doesn't seem to have changed everyday life that much. But I think one of the ways that it will is starting on November 1st, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which oversees food stamps, basically food aid for folks that can't afford it, otherwise called SNAP benefits. Those are going to run out. So there will not be SNAP benefits. And I think the White House has found ways to pay military members to keep other people in the job. I think the sort of political calculation here is that SNAP users are Democrats, and if they will put extra pressure on Democrats, and Democrats will cave, that's the people that they're going to stop paying first. I don't know if that political calculation is right, but it certainly is going to mean a real hardship for a whole lot of people.
David, a major union just yesterday said it's time for Democrats to come to the table and bring this shutdown to an end. What do we know about that?
Right. I think you're going to start to see more of that now. There are federal unions, especially unions like the Air Traffic Controllers Union, that are more, that people are suffering. They're working without pay. They're working long hours without pay. And I think those unions are saying, this is a real hardship for our members, too. Democrats we're always going to have to cave. They're not going to get what they want. The question is, what can they sort of scratch out of this? Can they get a vote on extending these Obamacare subsidies that they want to save? I don't think they're actually going to save the subsidies because they don't have the votes to do that. But can they get some sort of show vote where Republicans have to vote against them? That's probably the best case scenario for them now.
We're talking with New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold. Meanwhile, the president is traveling around to Asia this week. And one of the big announcements, David, is that the U.S. and China have agreed to a trade deal. What do we know about it?
Well, very little. It seems like, President Trump has always been threatening China with really huge tariffs. China has been threatening us by not buying soybeans that American farmers rely on, and also by not exporting something called rare earths, which are these rare minerals that are used in the manufacture of lots of things, including electric cars. So, it was a crisis of Trump's own making, and now it seems like they have maybe resolved that crisis. Things are not going to be as dire as they were. But it's the point of all of this was to reset international trade in a way that was going to boost American exports. It was going to make America stronger. We haven't really seen that kind of systemic change. What we're seeing now is just sort of, resetting the threats and removing the threats that Trump put in place a few months ago.
New York Times investigative reporter David Farenthold, thanks and have a good week.
Thank you, too.
Coming up, we'll have national headlines. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Your favorite Seahawks gear? Check. Face paint? Check. The Mike McDonald preview on KIRO News Radio? Check.
We want to win the game.
Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald joins the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, in the final interview before every Seahawks game. Friday mornings, the Mike McDonald preview, only on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of the guys' spirit.
This is where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletimes.com/subscribe.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977. And we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Every year we see a spike in serious accidents involving motor vehicles, bicycles, and pedestrians occurring in the few days after daylight saving time. If you are injured in an accident, protect your legal rights with an experienced team of lawyers who know how to get results. Call Davis Law Group at 206-888-8888 to request a free legal consultation or get my free book on car accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than the tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Upgrade your home comfort and save 20% during the Bob's Heating preseason furnace sale. With great savings plus free financing on heat pumps, water heaters, generators, and more, our award-winning team has what you need to stay cozy this chilly season at a cost you're comfortable with. Voted best in the Pacific Northwest, we're honored to be your dedicated home comfort company since 1957. Call Bob's and save today.
Bob's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call Bob.
CBS News Brief. Cleanup in Gaza, where Israel says the ceasefire is back on after overnight strikes that killed dozens of people. Following the IDF's claim, Hamas killed one of its soldiers. The BBC's Sebastian Usher.
The Israeli government has been warning that it will hit back hard at what it sees as any violation of a ceasefire by Hamas, which for its part has accused the IDF of multiple breaches. The US has repeatedly played down concerns that all-out hostilities could resume.
A downgraded Hurricane Melissa has made landfall in Cuba after devastating Jamaica. CBS's Jason Allen.
We tried to get to some flooded out bridges, and we couldn't get there. There's trees down across roads.
President Trump has arrived in South Korea ahead of the main event of his Asia trip.
President Xi of China is coming tomorrow here, and we're going to be, I hope, making a deal. I think we're going to have a deal. I think it'll be a good deal for both.
Mr. Trump's threatened 100% tariffs on China Saturday. CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, we got some low clouds this morning. Be prepared for some isolated chances of thunderstorms later today. Right now, it's about 43 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, we hear from Art Darlin, the founder of the Kent-based recovery program, Battlefield Addiction, about his unique approach to drug recovery. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Care Partners Senior Living is growing. Amanda here. We are very excited to introduce our newest communities in Port Orchard, Sumner, and North Creek Bothell, bringing compassionate, quality care at an affordable price, closer to more of you. Visit carepartnersliving.com today.
If you're a veteran struggling with your monthly bills, VA loan expert Steve Teitler of Best Mortgage has some good news for you.
Rates have dropped recently, and this could be a great time for our veterans to think about a cash-out refinance to get out of your high-interest rate debt. For example, one of our clients had a 2.25% VA loan, but he owed more than $155,000 on credit cards and a home equity loan. So we paid off all of that debt and replaced his mortgage with a VA cash-out refinance. And the new VA loan saved him $1,268 per month. So give us a call and see if a VA cash-out refi can help save you money. And remember, with a VA loan, you can buy a home with no money down.
And you can help non-veterans as well.
That's right. If you have a conventional loan, we'll run the numbers and see if we can help save you money, too.
Honest advice you can trust from the VA loan experts, Best Mortgage. Call now, 425-649-6000. Best Mortgage, 425-649-6000.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live. Stream it online. Watch the show or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Joining us now is Art Dolan. He is from Battlefield Addiction, based in Auburn, and part of his group's mission is to help families who are struggling with addiction and help them find resources and hopefully help them find recovery. Art, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We're going to talk about the big fundraiser you have coming up next month. But I wanted to maybe just start off with you giving us an idea. How bad is the fentanyl situation in the Seattle area here in late 2025?
Well, I mean, I think that there's a fight about what to do about it. And I think when, I've discovered through our work that when addiction shows up for a family or a community or anyone, part of the problem that happens is that people don't know what to do. And there begins to be a fight between, maybe the fight always seems to be between accountability and allowance. What do we allow and what do we hold a person accountable for? And what is this person's responsibility and whose responsibility? And so what you can see is really making it rough around Seattle is it's not about helping people, it's about how we help people. And I think that that's kind of the problem, is that we're involved in this fight about how we help, while all the while people aren't getting helped.
When Charlie said, how bad is it? How do you describe it?
Okay. Well, I mean, I think the current condition of our streets is absolutely deplorable. I mean, I think that as a recovering addict myself, as somebody that's been doing this, how did we get to a place where people are openly doing drugs on our streets? And how, for me, I work with families, so I always take it like this: if a family were to come to me and say, "Hey, my loved one is in the basement using drugs, what should I do?" Well, my recommendation would be, let's stop that. You see, and it seems that if I did say something else like, well, does he have enough clean supplies to do those drugs? That family would probably consider me crazy and say that guy can't help us. And that's kind of the thing, is we're not saying we're not really stressing that it needs to stop or these people could die. Instead, we're saying, Well, do they have enough supplies, or do they have enough a warm house to do it in, or things like that? When actually, to me, it needs to stop today. That if you say that you're helping somebody that's using fentanyl, to me that only means getting them off fentanyl. It doesn't mean anything else. It means if 10 days ago you helped somebody that was doing fentanyl and today they're still doing fentanyl, you didn't help them. That's what it means to me. It means they could have died 10 days ago and they could die today. And to me, that's not helping.
You are somebody who believes in sobriety, not just supervised use until somebody is ready to seek resources for recovery. Why do you believe in the sobriety first method?
Well, I believe that that's always the first goal, is can we get somebody completely off drugs? There's also many cases where people might need different things. I don't believe in just sobriety. I believe, though, it is our first ask. It is the first thing that we should try with people. Not all people can make it. Some people need medicated assistant treatment. Some people need marijuana. Some people find a way to manage certain substances. But to me, it's always the first goal that we should try to attain. Because when I look at another human, I say, you know, I think you're just like me. I've attained abstinence and sobriety, and it's great. And I want that for you. And so I'm going to first try to set that expectation with someone and see if we can do that.
I'm sorry. How is fentanyl different than what we've seen in the past?
Well, it's just a death sentence. You know, I mean, we've got kids that have lost 13, 14 of their friends. To me, it's a war. And, you know, if we had something so deadly, such as anthrax or something like that, we stopped it back then. You know, we would stop a little line. We would shut down a building for a little line of salt that was on someone's desk that might be anthrax. And so for me, I just don't understand truckloads of this drug coming in and us not saying we have to stop it. To me, it's however many pounds of fentanyl come to the U.S., that's the precise amount that's going to get smoked. And so if you're letting it come into the community, there's no treatment for that. We can fight over it all, but in the end, if 20,000 pounds of fentanyl come to the U.S., 20,000 pounds of fentanyl is going to get done. And so what do you do about that? We have to stop it.
Art, these are real human beings who are suffering, and these are loved ones. Their family members are desperate to get them help. What happens when they reach out to Battlefield?
That's a great question. So that's exactly what that's what we do. A family calls and says, my loved one is on the streets. My loved one is out there. And you know, it becomes a different terminology when you love someone. When you say, that's my loved one. No one wants their loved one to be given supplies to keep using drugs. But people you don't know, it seems to be okay. So people come and they say, I want my loved one off these drugs. And we navigate, and every case is unique. We take that family, we take their unique case, and we teach them how to lovingly move this thing to sobriety or move this thing to a better situation. And so we take a family and we don't leave that family until it's over. And we don't stop until the job's done.
You're trying to help families all across the area, but it requires a certain amount of resources. And I know you have a big fundraiser coming up. Can you tell us what you will be doing?
Yeah, we're raising money for people to get into sober living, to people to pay for sober living, to families to pay for both my treatment program and other treatment programs. We're raising money so that our staff can work with families, help guide their loved ones into treatment. We have staff that are working all the time on helping a family text their loved one and get through the conversations and making a shift through language. You know, sometimes this thing has to be shifted through language. The language we use with each other is important. And if we use good, loving language to get someone into treatment, it works. And so we have to pay for staff. We have group coaching. We have consultations that we do for people. And also families need money. This is an expensive problem to have. And it's not just expensive. It's expensive because it's repetitive expensive. It doesn't always work the first time. But for us, we're finding that it does if we get it done right. And
What's the big event, and how can people help?
So the big event is our auction. It's November 15th. It's at Muckleshoot Casino. We have a live auction, a silent auction, and it's a great time, a great dinner, a great event, and it's all families that have been helped, need help, want help. So everyone that's there usually has someone that's been touched by this and someone that needs help getting through it. And so not only is it just it's a bonding for all these families that have been going through the same thing.
Art Dawn, Battlefield Addiction. We will have a link on mynorthwest.com to this important fundraiser. Is coming up November 15th. Art, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
For your KIRO News Radio forecast, some low clouds this morning, a chance of isolated storms and thunderstorms today. But right now, it's about 43 in downtown Seattle. Coming up, more of the day's top stories here on Seattle's Morning News. I'm Katrina Gashard. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Top of the hour news, Heather was doing the Mpox story, and I said, what's Mpox?
The Jake and Spike Show.
I remember when the transition happened because the word monkeypox was deemed insulting.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
Who is it insulting to?
Monkeys.
Anytime a monkey heard you say monkeypox, they just kind of side-eyed you doing, hey, what are you talking about?
It's just show of respect.
Those primates were so sensitive. Pardon me, monkeys.
Watch the Jake and Spike Show live on YouTube or the KIRO Newsradio app. KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
You've been hearing me rave about my experiences with Integrity Roofing and Construction. Well, you won't believe what Integrity is doing in October. They're giving away a free roof to someone in need. That's right, a free roof. Do you know a deserving family who could benefit from a free roof? Then visit IntegrityRC.com, click on the Integrity Cares page, and nominate someone today. What an incredible opportunity to help someone upgrade and protect their home. Go to IntegrityRC.com now, click on the Integrity Cares page, and nominate someone in need. IntegrityRC.com, because doing the right thing matters.
Looking for a high school that nurtures both the mind and spirit? Archbishop Murphy High School is where academic excellence meets faith-based education. With a 100% graduation rate and a college prep program designed to challenge and inspire, our students are prepared for whatever the future holds. But it's more than just academics. Archbishop Murphy's robust athletics, arts, and co-curricular activities ensure that every student finds their passion and thrives. Archbishop Murphy High School believes in educating the whole person. That's why we offer a vibrant campus life where students grow not only academically, but also spiritually, socially, and physically. Don't just take our word for it. See it for yourself. Schedule a visit and discover how Archbishop Murphy High School can help your students succeed. Visit am-hs.org. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy proudly supports Archbishop Murphy High School, where your story begins. am-hs.org.
Hi, I'm Dr. Shelley Flace with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. The nicotine in e-cigarettes is addictive and can harm brain development. That's why I worry about teens who try e-cigarettes. Many young people use pod-based e-cigarettes like Juul, which have high levels of nicotine. And because teens' brains are still developing, they can quickly become addicted. The tobacco industry uses fruit and candy flavors to attract young people, often turning them into lifelong users. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
Good afternoon, I'm Aaron Granillo.
Your best source for local news.
Newly released police video shows the arrest of a 17-year-old.
KIRO News Radio.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Hey, it's Jason Rantz. Our local tax expert Greg Nunn wants taxpayers to know the IRS is now going after older cases very aggressively. If you received Form CP-504 from the IRS, do not ignore it. Be proactive and resolve your situation with Greg Nunn, N-U-N-N, None Better Tax Resolution.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Drenching rain in Cuba, where Hurricane Melissa, one of the strongest in the Atlantic on record, made landfall early this morning. President Miguel Diaz-Canel says the Category 3 storm has caused extensive damage. Forecasters expect it could generate storm surge of up to a foot a day after leaving Jamaica in tatters. Andrea Lee manages a bed and breakfast in Lucy along the island's northwest coast.
The devastation, it's terrible. The roads are blocked, is what I'm hearing. So I think a lot of us are not venturing out too far yet until we can get some information on the conditions of the roads.
Correspondent Jason Allen has more from Old Harbor.
With power on in Kingston, that probably means that the airport will get open sooner rather than later. That'll be very, very important to getting that much-needed aid here into the country.
Israel says a ceasefire is back in effect in Gaza after overnight strikes that Hamas says killed at least 104, including children. Israel accuses Hamas in the death of an IDF soldier. The BBC's Sebastian Usher from Jerusalem.
The Israeli government has been warning that it will hit back hard at what it sees as any violation of a ceasefire by Hamas, which for its part has accused the IDF of multiple breaches. The US has repeatedly played down concerns that all-out hostilities could resume.
The Federal Reserve is expected to announce a 1/4 point interest rate cut today. CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
A small cut, it could nudge down borrowing costs on things like credit cards, auto loans, adjustable rate mortgages. It won't offer major relief for most, though. So we're going to be listening for hints on whether more cuts are coming.
Researchers in the UK are testing a revolutionary test that could sniff out cancer. CBS's Vicky Barker has details from London.
Some 80% of people diagnosed with pancreatic cancer here aren't offered any treatment because it's usually incurable by the time it's diagnosed. But now, researcher George Hanna is leading clinical trials that will see patients with the vague symptoms that can indicate the presence of pancreatic cancer blowing into a test tube in their local doctor's office.
Through detecting the molecules in the breath, they will be able to see whether the probability of the patient have cancer or not.
If the trial is successful, the breath test could identify pancreatic cancer in its earliest stage.
The world's list of billionaires is growing. Correspondent Michael Wallace has some numbers.
I want to be a billionaire.
The wealth intelligence firm Eltrata says there were just over 3,500 billionaires last year. About a third of them, 1,135, were in the U.S. The Americans' fortunes accounted for 43% of the world's wealth.
Dow futures are up 83. This is CBS News.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Not only does Progressive let you bundle your insurance, they also give you round-the-clock protection. Quote today at Progressive.com.
Good morning. It's 6:03. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And we are starting this morning in the red. We have a crash on southbound I-5 as you make your way out of South Everett. It's just south of 128th as you make your way down towards the Mill Creek interchange. It looks like it's over to the left-hand shoulder now, but we have about a 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Going the other direction, coming up from Puyallup, we got about a 50-minute trip for you guys, about normal for this time of morning with the lane restrictions that we have in Pacific. Pacific. Only 15 minutes, though, out of Auburn. And if you're continuing up the 405 corridor from there, we've got 15 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. That's pretty good. Olympia to Tacoma is only 35 minutes for you guys now, and then Federal Way to Seattle's running under 40. So all in all, we're doing okay, except for that little spot up in the north end. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Thanks for joining us this Wednesday morning. It's 6:04. A major legal showdown is brewing in the Northwest.
A larger panel of Ninth Circuit judges is now stepping in to decide whether President Trump can send Oregon National Guard troops to Portland.
And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here live with the latest. Luke?
This has been a really teeter-totter kind of a case, which started earlier this month, you'll remember, when Oregon won that temporary restraining order to stop the president from sending troops to Portland to protect that ICE facility that we've all been seeing in the news. Well, then last week, in a 2-1 ruling, a Ninth Circuit panel of judges reversed that and said the president does have the authority to federalize some 200 Oregon National Guard troops, and the president commented,
"You would think that would be common sense. We have the right to use the National Guard to put out trouble." Well, that's, how I got elected.
Well, now the appeals court has pushed pause on its own ruling. They're blocking those troops so the Ninth Circuit can review the case en banc. En banc is a term you're going to hear in the next few days. It means a review by 11 judges. Here's how Portland's mayor, Keith Wilson, is reacting.
We have said all along that the number of federal troops that we need in Portland is 0. And with the Ninth Circuit Court agreeing today for this reconsideration is just one more important note to the nation that we're doing everything right.
But states across the country are also watching how the Ninth Circuit will rule on this issue, including Attorney General Nick Brown. I spoke with him right here in our studio just the other day.
I don't think most Americans want to live in a city where there's National Guard members with rifles standing on the corner or walking through their parks every day. And I don't think that's the country we should aspire to be.
So big step in this case, Charlie and Manda. The Ninth Circuit will hear that case today, which is unusual because usually these take weeks and weeks to do. In the meantime, a higher court like the U.S. Supreme Court could jump in at any time and grab up that case and say, no, we will hear oral arguments on that. We will see whether or not, finally, whether a president can federalize National Guard troops and send them to American cities.
All right, Luke, thank you. Clearly, a lot more to come. The destruction from Hurricane Melissa is being felt by those in our local Jamaican community.
We get more on this from KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss.
Hurricane Melissa prompting Chris Hinton to close down his food truck in Everett for the day as he tried to get updates from his family back home in Jamaica.
Very painful. The roof is gone. Yeah.
Is everybody okay?
So far, I spoke with them earlier this morning. They were crying, and the internet just went out. So I don't even know what's going on right now at this moment.
Others in the local Jamaican community are on edge as they get updates on the widespread destruction.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Well, good Wednesday morning. It's October 29th. Glad to have you with us. I'm Manda Factor, along with Charlie Harger.
And in the studio, we have Sully. Good morning, Sully. Good to see you here.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
We dried out on the roads. It was kind of wet driving in for me.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad up in the north end, but it's coming.
Okay, all right.
Coming.
Producer Jonah Oakleaf is filling in for David Burbank today. Katrina Gashard is out at the news desk. And, of course, Nick Kreisha is running the board and picking the music today.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
And coming up on this hour of the show, we'll speak with former federal prosecutor Erica Evans. She is running for Seattle City Attorney. We spoke to her, the current Seattle City Attorney last week, Ann Davison, and now we're hearing her challenger.
It's now 6:07. It is the fourth week of the government shutdown. Yesterday was a significant day for air traffic controllers as it was their first day with no paycheck.
KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more from SeaTac Airport.
Air traffic controllers here in Seattle are spending the day handing out informational pamphlets. They say they want the flying public informed about what's going on with the shutdown and the potential consequences, particularly among air traffic controllers who may be distracted. National Air Traffic Controller Association Vice President Mark Roush.
How am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to pay for gas to go to work where I'm going to get a $0 paycheck?
Roush says he still believes it is safe to fly and says he would not hesitate to put his family on a plane during the shutdown. At SEA, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, the shutdown means more than 3,000 children in our state may lose access to Head Start services. Local leaders say 9 preschool programs will lose their federal funding if the shutdown isn't solved by Saturday. One center in Vancouver already announced its closure, impacting 175 low-income children and their families.
Washington is sending millions to food banks as SNAP benefits run out. Governor Bob Ferguson ordered $2.2 million a week for grants. The money will help local food banks handle demand as federal food assistance ends on November 1st. More than 900,000 people in Washington state rely on SNAP benefits. Ferguson says the state will keep looking to find ways to fill the gap. He's also urging people to donate or volunteer at local food banks.
We told you yesterday about Amazon cutting 14,000 jobs. Well, now a state filing shows more than 2,300 will be laid off here in Washington. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, most cuts hit Seattle and Bellevue. Roles include software engineers, recruiters, and product managers.
And those Amazon workers impacted by layoffs are wondering, what's next? KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke with some stunned workers.
It's one thing to hear about it,
and our team was talking about it.
It's another.
And I see the email that I was impacted by the layoffs.
To go through it.
I don't know what happens now. Just kind of in disbelief.
We spoke with this Amazon employee. She was one of the 14,000 company-wide layoffs at Amazon. And she tells me what stings the most about it. She just moved here 6 months ago for the job.
Big layoffs coming to Bremerton. Jarda LLC will close Friday after Amazon canceled its contract. The shutdown affects 110 employees from drivers to managers. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, the company calls the termination unforeseen and unexpected.
A man was caught on camera torching a family's Halloween display in West Seattle. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomimau spoke with the owners of the home.
Becca and Chris Sandy woke up to find their Halloween display burnt and charred on Tuesday. Their surveillance video captured it all. A man setting 2 fires using their decorations as fuel.
Then he kicked this coffin down and dragged the Bob Ross skeleton into it, set Bob Ross on fire, and then began grabbing the little skeleton animals and throwing them in there as well.
Nick Haskell tells me he rushed out to confront the suspect. Hey! As he ran after him, other neighbors jumped in to put out the fires.
They set Bob Ross on fire.
I can't believe that.
You know, I had my Halloween display also destroyed by vandals.
Knock it off, people.
Yeah, geez.
It's very upsetting.
Be festive.
A fire in Monroe left a family of 6 and their 8 dogs without a home yesterday.
Snohomish Regional Fire and Rescue arrived around 2 a.m. to find flames tearing through a home and a trailer near 208th Place Southeast and Old Monroe Duval Highway. There are no fire hydrants nearby, so crews had to truck water in up a steep dirt road. Family got out of the house. Firefighters rescued 6 husky puppies and 2 adult huskies. Nobody hurt, but the home is a total loss.
KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay.
Fox 13 sports director Aaron Levine is still winning on Jeopardy! Here's the host Ken Jennings with Final Jeopardy last night.
Show them the clue. This brand got its name in 1940 after a distillery executive took friends on a hunting trip. 30 seconds starting now, players. Good luck.
All right, current champion Aaron answered last, and he didn't have a guess?
It's a brand of bourbon. You were thinking along the right lines, but they were hunting for wild turkeys. What is wild turkey? What did you wager, Aaron? It comes down to this. 6801 will leave you with $8,399. And not by much, but you remain our Jeopardy champion. A 2-day total now of $28,999. Congratulations.
Look at that. He left it blank and still won.
You know, that is
Aaron.
sometimes the way you win is not to play at all.
Exactly.
He'll be back on tonight's show to defend his title.
Go, Aaron, go. It's 6:12, and that's time for a check on the weather. It's brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. And time to say good morning to KIRO 7 TV's Nick Allard. Hey, Nick.
Hello, hello. Right now we have some mist and some drizzle and or even just some light showers, but I do expect the light showers to wrap up later this morning and we'll find some drier weather. It's going to be a pretty nice day today. Just know that you have some pockets of rain in and around the South Sound, a little bit in the Central Sound, then you have the convergence zone around Snohomish County North. So everyone's just going to see a little bit to start the day, but it's really just going to be to start the day. And then I'd say by about late morning, most of it's done. We'll look for some increasing sun breaks this afternoon and have highs at anywhere from, say, like 57 to 60. So a nice day for sure. Tomorrow, we're going to find dry weather, but be cloudy. So mostly cloudy tomorrow. And then the next thing is Friday with another atmospheric river on the way in, although not as powerful as what we just saw. We'll see some rain starting, say, Friday late afternoon, early evening, and then just pouring through trick-or-treating and pouring overnight into early Saturday before it tapers off to showers. We set our clocks back, into Sunday, and then we have a drier day. So it's rainy Friday night and early Saturday decreasing. And yeah, I do think it's going to mess with all the trick-or-treaters out there. So if you can figure out something that's waterproof, that's the way to go.
Thanks a lot, Nick.
You're welcome.
Big old garbage bag.
Yeah,
Here we go.
Going as a hefty.
It's 52 in Seattle right now.
The time to check traffic. Sully is watching the roads for us this Wednesday morning.
And we've got about a 25 to 30-minute delay coming down out of Snohomish County. We've really started this morning by stepping in it. We've got a crash right by south of 128th, but not quite to 164th there, that has been blocking the HOV lane for the last 15 minutes. Now it's back to just being on the right-hand shoulder, but the damage is done. We're over an hour from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, and all of that delay is just right there, because once you get down to Linwood, it's a pretty good drive the rest of the way, despite a little blip there in Canyon Park. Coming the other direction, Olympia to Tacoma, no problems for you guys, 35 minutes. A few brake lights up the hill to Highway 18 and continuing up through the merging at 320th, but then Federal Way to Seattle's running around 42 minutes. Valley Freeway, 50 minutes from end to end because of the brake lights in Pacific. Renton to Bellevue getting closer to 20 minutes, and it looks like we've cleared the crash on westbound Highway 18, getting up the east slope of Tiger Mountain. It was a little closer to Raging River, but looks like we've gotten all back to normal there. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
A country star has a new nickname as we hear from KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gashard.
Just call him Mr. Moore Baseball.
Oh, say, can you see?
That's what Bradley Paisley is calling himself after he sang the national anthem before Game 3 of the World Series on Monday night. We all know how that went. It lasted 18 long innings and took almost 7 hours. And it wasn't Paisley's first time at that rodeo. He sung the anthem at 4 World Series. Each of them went into extra innings, including the 2 now tied for the longest in Fall Classic history.
Katrina, thank you. It's 6:15.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
Seattle City Attorney candidate Erica Evans says her campaign is about accountability and equity. A former federal prosecutor, Evans wants to overhaul how Seattle handles misdemeanor crimes and rethink policies she calls outdated and sometimes racially biased. Today, we sit down with her to talk about her vision for public safety and her personal history that shaped it. Thanks for joining us, Erica.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess the hard question first. Why do you want to be their next city attorney?
Because I believe we should deserve to live in a city where we can all feel safe and where we all thrive. And what we've heard from the thousands and thousands of voters we've spoken to on this campaign trail, that's not currently happening. We need experienced leaders that have, the heart and the grit and the actual background in public safety to really bring solutions to the things we're seeing in our city.
What makes you the right fit for the job?
I think my experience is the biggest thing that makes me the right fit. I look at my experience being a city prosecutor in the city attorney's office, being a defense lawyer for the city of Seattle, being a pro tem judge, seeing what justice looks like from a different perspective on the bench in the same types of courts that the city prosecutors go into. And most recently, my experience being an assistant United States attorney, a very difficult job to get, one that I was really honored, and it was a dream job, to be a federal prosecutor. I was responsible for violent crimes in our district, which includes the city of Seattle, and I was also one of the 2 civil rights prosecutors that represented the Western District of Washington. All those things coupled give me the experience that's necessary because I've worked in public safety my entire career. And that's what's needed in this role, folks that have been boots on the ground working in public safety.
One of the things that got my attention is you don't like the soda and soap zones. Can you walk us through your thinking there?
Yes, so soap and soda is something that we did over about a decade ago when I was working as a city prosecutor. And what I learned in that experience is that soap and soda does not stop behaviors. It just really moves it around to different parts of the city. And as the city attorney, we're responsible for the whole city, not certain particular areas. What we also learned with data that we got back is that it was being disproportionately applied to people of color and people that are in need of services. And to be clear, as the city attorney, it's up to city council, laws that they make. And it's also up to judges. So I can say, we're going to use our prosecutorial discretion to know that these are harmful policies and not criminally charge someone for being in a banishment zone. But they are still things that the judge, with their discretion, they can impose on someone. But these were laws that were repealed in 2020 because that data shows that they were being disproportionately applied to people of color, that they weren't stopping behavior, and that they were just moving it to the behavior to different neighborhoods in the city. And what I've learned on this campaign trail, speaking with voters, even here in Eastlake, folks are concerned when people are just getting moved around. I've walked the streets on 12th and Jackson and seen the suffering, seeing how the soap and soda, it's not working.
If that's not working, what will?
Yeah. What I've learned, being responsible for going after the traffickers that are pumping in, hundreds of thousands of fentanyl pills into our streets, people that are trafficking humans against their will. That is where the focus should be, being good partners to make sure that we're getting the traffickers that are doing these harmful things in our city off the streets. And that is a role that the city attorney can absolutely play in being a good partner with the King County prosecutors and the assistant United States attorneys, work I used to personally do to make sure we're actually addressing the supply of, these drugs coming in. Another thing, we were talking earlier, you look at what's happening in Aurora. I've spoken with neighbors there that they are not happy with what's happening currently right now. And you can see with the results from the primary that we won those areas. We won those Aurora corridors because voters are smart and they see what's happening. The evidence is in our streets right now. And folks know that what's currently being championed under the current city attorney leadership is just talking points, but it's not actually delivering the real results that we deserve in our city.
When we talk about crime rates, I think we're all relieved to see that violent crime is down from what was just a massive high. But property crimes remain annoyingly high. And these are crimes that they're not victimless crimes, people getting robbed. It's a real violation. You are thinking of reimagining how the city attorney's office prosecutes those sorts of crimes. What goes into that thought process? How would it be different?
Yeah, I think there absolutely needs to be accountability. I agree that property crimes are not a victimless crime. One thing that, I've been hearing from voters is the delay when something happens to their property to get, compensation. One thing that we want to bring is a victims compensation fund. So victims of property crimes are able to get the money, immediately and not have to wait for sometimes a slow system. You talked about violent crimes being down, and that is good. That's work I've done as a federal prosecutor in the violent crimes unit, actually going after folks that are committing violent crimes in our city. To be clear, the city attorney doesn't really deal with a lot of violent crimes. And when we looked at the data that was recently released from the FBI, Seattle is fourth in the country in overall crime. And that's not something to be proud of. We can do so much better. And I think it really comes with having leaders that have been boots on the ground, working in public safety. And that's the experience that I bring that really, I think, sets me apart from my opponent. I've been someone that's been working in the trenches on public safety. My opponent has been someone that's just been consistently running for office. She ran for city council, ran as a Republican for lieutenant governor, and then ran for this office. And so I think the voters our voters here in Seattle are smart, and they know what's up when it comes to someone with actual experience and someone that's actually put their heart into making our streets safer.
Talking with Erica Evans, who wants to be Seattle's next city attorney. Have you endorsed a candidate for mayor?
No, the city attorney is the lawyer for the mayor, and one of our ethical responsibilities as lawyers is to, serve future clients with the uttermost professionalism and integrity. And I'm excited to serve who our voters are going to elect as the next mayor.
Well, Erica, that's all the time we have for you today. Best of luck to you, and we will be speaking with you down the line.
I can't wait for that. Thank you both so much.
And you can catch our entire interview with Erica Evans, Seattle City Attorney candidate, online on mynorthwest.com.
It's 6:23. That's time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. And here's Chris Sullivan.
Well, we've cleared the crash, but the damage is done. Southbound I-5 is struggling mightily, getting away from the Boeing Freeway, actually getting to the Boeing Freeway and then down to about 128. This is where a crash we had earlier this morning cleared over to the right shoulder, but it's an hour plus from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue at this early hour. So that means you're about 25 minutes slower than you need to be if you're leaving Everett. Now, if you get on at 128th, you're going to be okay. If you get on at Mill Creek, you're going to be okay. But, you get on there by the park and ride at 112th, they're coming down from the Boeing Freeway. You're going to get stuck in this. After that, it's not too bad the rest of the way. Northbound 405 through the Renton S-curve, starting to see those heat up just a bit. 20 minutes on the drive there. Behind that on the Valley Freeway, inching closer to an hour to go from Puyallup to Renton. Pretty long lineup through the lane restrictions getting through Pacific than the normal stuff in Auburn. Federal Way to Seattle is running right around 45 minutes. The lake bridges are still quiet. Thurston and Pierce County, other than what we have there coming up 167, is in pretty good shape. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Lake Washington Windows has been voted the best in the Northwest. To save 25% off new windows through October, defer payment the next 12 months. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Looks like we'll have the clouds and drizzle kind of move out, and the afternoon looks sunny. High of 57 today. 55 for our high tomorrow. Friday rather. Rain later in the day. Cannot guarantee it won't be a washout. I know that's a double negative. I apologize. It's early. But it looks like we might have some rain for trick-or-treating is what I'm trying to say. Highs in the mid-50s. Right now in Seattle, it's 53.
And coming up, 12 suspects arrested. Nearly $1,700 in stolen goods recovered during a retail theft operation. KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey will have more.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Now through November 16th. New Comcast Business customers can get started with 150 megabit internet plus security for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig package. Call today. Restrictions apply. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and auto pay with bank account. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all three like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Veterans Day is a moment where we express gratitude towards the folks who have served on our behalf, our veterans. And Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates veterans of all branches and their families on Veterans Day and every day of the year. They serve over 2 million veterans, and as a veteran, you can become a member and access exclusive rates, discounts, and financial tools for the whole family. Become a member at NavyFederal.org/veterans. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
I saw her texting coming up to a stop sign. And so I saw the accident coming and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey, it's Brock Hewitt here, and you got to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. It could save you a lot of money and get your family better coverage. First Mark has saved my family thousands of dollars every year. Take the First Mark Challenge. It's totally free. Just simply go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from Eastlake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It is 6:31. Two very different police responses in Seattle overnight. One, a driver in crisis and a dangerous crash on Aurora Avenue North.
The other, a retail theft bust in Rainier Valley. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here with the latest.
Yeah, let's start with that retail theft, that sting operation at the Lowe's on Rainier Avenue South. Seattle police say they arrested a dozen people there. Detectives teamed up with store security Monday afternoon, catching suspects in the act. They arrested 3 suspects for burglary, 9 for shoplifting, and they say they recovered more than $1,600 in stolen merchandise. Stores like Lowe's are targets for people to go in, steal power tools, say, and then turn them around and sell them for drugs. Some of the suspects went to jail. Others were cited and released. They're all banned from Lowe's from now on. And now on Aurora Avenue North, yesterday afternoon, SPD says a driver in crisis ran a red light at the intersection of North 130th Street. That's right next to the Chick-fil-A there. She sideswiped one vehicle, a van. And I've seen video of this, and we're going to get that up on social media, and I'll direct you to it where you can see it as well. Pretty amazing stuff. Caused that van to flip on its side, then crashed into 3 more vehicles that were just sitting there in traffic at the red light. The victims range in ages from 63 years old all the way down to a 6-year-old child. Police say the woman was having a mental health episode. She was cited but not arrested. She was taken to Harborview Medical Center for evaluation. Traffic on Aurora there was backed up during that investigation for nearly 2 hours.
Thanks for that update, Luke. It's now 6:32. It is day 29 of the government shutdown, but it is day 2 for air traffic controllers without a paycheck.
At SeaTac Airport, air traffic controllers spent yesterday inside the airport, handing out informational pamphlets to travelers about the shutdown, its impact on controllers, and the flying public. Air traffic controllers Vice President Mark Roush.
I think the message is simple. It's just end the shutdown now. We can't expect people that do an honest day's work not get an honest day's pay.
Roush says it shouldn't be political when the safety of air travelers is at stake.
We're learning more about the crash that destroyed an I-90 overpass near Cle Elum. Sources tell King TV that investigators have dash cam video showing what happened. It shows a pilot car pulling toward the exit at Bullfrog Road. The semi hauling an oversized tank veered around that car and drove under the bridge. The tank ripped through concrete and steel supports. That forced crews to tear the overpass down. State Patrol cited the driver for violating permit rules. A timeline for rebuilding won't be set until December.
It's 6:33. Let's find out what's happening on the roads right now. We do traffic every 10 minutes. Sully?
We've got a couple of different things going on. We've got a pretty big crash going on eastbound I-90 trying to get onto and through Mercer Island. At this point, only the HOV lane is open as you get toward Island Crest Way. I want to thank Bruce, one of our KIRO listeners, who let me know what's going on there. You're coming around that corner out of the lid, and you hit the brakes super hard and unexpectedly. So plan on a big delay right around that. It's early this time of morning for the commute to go across the lake that way, so hopefully the backup won't get too bad before we get this out of the way. But either way, plan on at least a 10-minute delay getting through that. Again, this is eastbound I-90 right as you get towards the Island Crest Way. Another issue we have, southbound 405 with the right lane blocked as you come down past Coal Creek Parkway, working your way to 44th. It looks like we've got a car there over on the right-hand side causing some slowing there. Northbound 405 going the other direction. We have brake lights through the S-curves, 25 minutes to make the trip there. Behind that, we've got an hour from Puyallup to Renton. Federal Way to Seattle's running right around 45 minutes, and out of the north end, still struggling with about an hour drive from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Heavy brake lights into and through the Boeing Freeway area because of an earlier crash we had approaching Mill Creek. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Download the Seattle Sports app and stay in the know with the latest news, scores, and opinions about your favorite teams.
Clouds and drizzle burn off, and by the afternoon, we'll have afternoon sunshine. High of 57 today. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, though, 55. And then on Friday, we have rain later in the day. Still kind of hard to tell the timing here, but best bet is to make sure trick-or-treating costumes are waterproof. It'll be 54 for a high on Friday. Right now in Seattle, we have cloudy skies and 42.
It's now 6:35, time for the opening bell report. The Federal Reserve will announce whether it will cut interest rates again in the next few hours. It could have a big impact on a lot of home budgets. CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady.
The Federal Reserve is expected to cut interest rates by 1/4 point this morning. Now, it would be the second cut this year and bring the benchmark rate down to the lowest level since 2022. Now, this decision comes in the middle of a government shutdown, which has delayed key economic reports that the Fed normally depends on. Policymakers are instead relying more on private sector data and market signals. With little fresh data, there's no real reason for the Fed to shift course here.
Mixed bag for Boeing as it releases third quarter earning report today. The company announced over $23 billion in revenue for the last 3 months. That's a 30% increase over last year. But it also reported a net loss for the quarter of over $5 billion. That charge for delays in the 777X helped drag the number down. Boeing has delivered 440 commercial jets this year and is on pace to deliver more than it has since 2018.
The best employer in the world is based right here in Washington. Forbes has released its latest ranking this month, and Microsoft tops the list. The company has about 228,000 employees worldwide. Costco also scored high, landing at number 12, Amazon at 59, and Expedia ranked 92. Of course, all four companies call Washington home.
President Trump is in South Korea for the Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation Summit. And CBS News reporter Christopher Cruz says the president had a message to deliver. America is open for business.
The president said the U.S. has had numerous economic triumphs under his watch.
There's truly no better time to invest in the USA. The results speak for themselves.
He said America is experiencing an economic revolution and is, quote, the hottest country in the world.
Well, the government shutdown is creeping toward the record held by the previous longest shutdown.
Seattle City
Yet
Attorney.
another failed vote in the Senate yesterday. Now at day 29, a legal fight is brewing over whether the Trump administration can tap into funds to release SNAP food benefits. CBS News correspondent Jared Hill has more.
From Washington, D.C. to Florida.
Is your first shutdown? God bless you, honey.
Food lines stretch on as the government shutdown stretches into its 29th day.
We need help, we need support, and we need our Congress to be there for us.
For 40 million Americans, growing concerns about where they'll find their next meal, as the Department of Agriculture says money for the SNAP food assistance program will run out on Saturday.
Washington is one of the states filing the suit. Around 900,000 people in this state use SNAP benefits.
As temperatures cool, home energy costs are heating up. According to a recent study, homeowners on average will pay nearly 8% more this winter. CBS's Matt Piper reports it's an issue across the country.
A new report from Powerlines, a nonprofit focused on lowering utility bills, says rate hikes are expected to show up in electric bills of more than 124 million customers this year. Powerlines also found that utility rate increase requests and approvals totaled more than $34 billion in the first 3 quarters of this year, nearly double from a year ago. In New Jersey, the state's Board of Public Utilities approved a hike in February, with the average bill for residents by June going up by 17%. Matt Piper, CBS News.
2 Seattle music venues are closing.
Madame Lou's and Hereafter, both operated by the Crocodile, will shut down as early as mid-December, according to the podcast and newsletter known as CityCast Seattle. The Crocodile's hotel and restaurant, located at First and Wall, are expected to stay open. Madame Lou's hosts everything from all-ages punk shows to dance nights. Hereafter is a 100-seat comedy club and movie theater. Frank Lindsay, KIRO Newsradio.
On Wall Street, CNBC is reporting NVIDIA stock is up today, making it the first company to ever reach a $5 trillion valuation. On Wall Street right now, the indexes look very much higher. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 195 points, S&P 500 ahead by 21, and the NASDAQ has gained 150.
Who is watching you in your doctor's exam room? New AI smart rooms are being used in local hospitals, so KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas is getting answers to your questions. Can this improve the care you receive? How's your information being used, and what are your rights inside these rooms? Watch tonight at 5:30 p.m. only on KIRO 7 News.
Chris, what is your traffic hotspot?
Well, we're going to take a look at this crash eastbound I-90, which is blocking all but the HOV lane on Mercer Island. We'll break it down for you next.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
The John Curley Show.
And the reason I love autumn the most, and I guess that's why I love to grow pumpkins,
Weekdays 3 to 7.
is because it's nature telling you summer is over and soon it will be dark and it will be cold and there will be no light. And just before, nature says, here's a prize for you because we know you're going to go into hibernation. So here's orange and yellow and fiery colors everywhere. So this is our final gift to you.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Announcing the Royal Corgis.
What have you done?
I wired pounds to London to buy Royal Corgis.
You went to the bank to wire money for Royal Corgis?
That means yes.
You are so dumb. Banks are slow and they hide all kinds of fees and transfers.
Those mutts.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. It's faster and never hides fees. Oh, they're fighting, just like the real royal family.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart, get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
If you use carpool or toll lanes along SR 167, some things have changed, and some things haven't. Using those lanes without a good-to-go account means you'll receive a bill in the mail. That is a change. You'll always pay the lowest toll rate with Good to Go. No change. Carpoolers now need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Does a Good to Go pass still save you $2 on every toll? Definitely not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com. Free Flex Passes while supplies last.
6:43 now. Let's check in with Chris Sullivan at the traffic desk.
And we are working with a pretty heavy backup of getting onto Mercer Island because of this crash we have at Island Crestway on eastbound I-90. Only the HOV lane is getting by, and you get across the lake and you hit an all-stop basically just before you get on the island. Seattle to Bellevue is going to take you about 40 minutes at this point. That's about a 25 to 30-minute delay, and it's all just right there. So plan on big-time delays getting into and through that area. I'll be watching this one really closely. Coming down from the north end, we're still struggling with hour drives from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue, but we're starting to see things break up a little bit after a long-term crash we had south of 128, and we're also picking up the stuff away from Linwood as well. Northbound 167 struggling with about an hour drive from Puyallup to Renton. Really heavy getting up through the Pacific area. Give yourself an extra 15 minutes there. And then Renton to Bellevue is running right around a half an hour. Federal Way to Seattle's got about a 50-minute trip for you. Olympia to Tacoma has no issues, and it looks like we still might be working with that crash on westbound 18 just up from Raging River. It was a truck that went off into the ditch and had been blocking most of the early morning hours. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts at early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org.
Seeing a few sprinkles here and there this morning, but sunshine by afternoon, 57 the high. Tomorrow will just stay mostly cloudy, 55, but then here comes the rain again. It's going to be rainy on Friday for Halloween night, 54 the high. Back to scattered showers and sunbreaks by Saturday. Right now, it's 52 and cloudy in Seattle.
The NFL is doubling down on star power ahead of the Super Bowl weekend. Here's KIRO Newsradio's Katrina Gishard.
While Bad Bunny gears up for his highly anticipated halftime show, music icon Sting will headline a separate concert in San Francisco just 2 days before the game. That's not the shape of my heart. The move adds fuel to the buzz and controversy surrounding Bad Bunny's selection, which has sparked mixed reactions. Sting's performance at the Warfield on February 7th is part of the league's official festivities.
All right, Katrina, thank you. It is now 6:45, and we're here for the Seahawks.
Yeah, maybe they'll be in the Super Bowl, huh?
Can't rule it out. I would like to think so. Well, you can go watch them play. The season is reaching the halfway point. We want to send one of you and 3 friends to the game on November 9th. All you need to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't have the app, easy enough. Text app, APP, to 888-973-5476. We'll send you a link to download, and you can enter every day to increase your chances to win. The contest runs through Monday, November 3rd.
It's now 6:46. This is Seattle's Morning News.
If you're wearing glasses or contacts, but you need reading glasses or bifocals now, you need to join Drs. Kopstein and King for the K2 Vision RLE live webinar this Thursday at noon to learn about refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE. This free webinar is a perfect opportunity to meet the doctors and have them answer all your questions about K2 Vision RLE. Questions like, how much does RLE cost? Is financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE? These questions and lots more will be covered this Thursday at noon during the K2 Vision RLE free live webinar. K2 Vision surgeons have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Plus, no more cataracts. Don't miss the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Apollo Plumbing.
I got a bone to pick with you.
Say what?
You're donating service fees.
To Seattle Children's.
All month.
All the way to $20,000.
Right. That's my problem.
Huh?
Your plumbers cleared my drain last month.
Right.
And already replaced my water heater last summer.
And?
Now I have no reason to call Apollo Plumbing.
And yet you are.
I want to help you help Seattle Children's.
But
I don't need a plumber right now.
Oh, so we can't donate your service fee.
Right.
Got a fix for that.
How?
Visit our website
Because
we have a donation link there.
helping Seattle Children's?
Helping them provide patient care, support research, and ensure no child in need is ever turned away.
Love that.
Even if you do call Apollo for help, and we donate your services fee.
Could I donate even more?
Exactly. Benefiting Seattle Children's Hospital.
All this month.
All their service fees.
All the way to $20,000.
Maybe even more with your help.
That's so Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Did you know that nearly half the homes in Western Washington are not properly insulated or not insulated at all? That may be the reason why your home is way too hot in the summer and way too cold in the winter. It may also be the reason that your energy bills are sky high. Right now, Insulation Northwest is offering a free inspection of your home's insulation. This is a $199 value and it's absolutely free, no obligation. Just call today and Insulation Northwest will arrange a time that works with your schedule. We'll perform a thorough exam of your home's insulation and give you the advice you need to start saving thousands. Everyone who calls today will also receive a free infrared screening of your home using the latest technology. This will help reveal any hidden flaws in your home's protective energy blanket. What do you have to lose? It only takes about an hour and it's absolutely free. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show, Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, it's 6:49, and House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer both scheduled to hold separate news conferences today, this on day 29 of the government shutdown.
We are now joined by CBS's Natalie Brand. All right, bring us up to speed. Any chance we're going to hear anything positive today?
Charlie, Manda, I wish I could have more optimism about that. But, you know, on day 29, we seem to be in the same place that we were at the very start of this, with both sides continuing to be dug into those positions, with Republicans wanting Democrats to vote on the short-term funding measure first and then negotiate other issues later, Democrats insisting on enhanced health care subsidies as part of the larger negotiation and vote. So at this point, you know, we're waiting to see what would come from a meeting between Senate Republicans and Vice President J.D. Vance yesterday over on Capitol Hill. But when asked by reporters, he continued to say they're waiting for several more Democrats to get on board with their, short-term funding measure, hoping to peel off support. We know that Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer is signaling that November 1st is going to be a significant day when the Affordable Care Act, marketplace opens up and people might be shocked to find higher bills.
Natalie, are they talking behind the scenes right now, or are things so toxic in Washington, D.C. that they're not communicating?
It seems that the leaders are having a hard time sitting down and negotiating. We know that there have been these ongoing conversations with rank and file members. But the question is, when will leadership get together? And we also know Democrats, have been asking for a meeting with President Trump following that initial meeting before the shutdown. And, with President Trump still on travel to Asia until tomorrow, that's not going to happen until the earliest, probably next week. So at this point, November 1st, a really significant day, not only because of the Affordable Care Act marketplace, but also, of course, the SNAP benefits that are set to come to a halt this weekend. That could impact, more than 40 million Americans. And we already know more than 24 states in the District of Columbia have filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration, over plans to, not fund SNAP. The administration saying that it cannot tap into contingency funds that, they're out of legal options and just urging Democrats to reopen the government.
What are you hearing, Natalie, from rank-and-file government workers you chat with in D.C. about their ability to live their lives?
Yeah, it's really just kind of heartbreaking to hear the stress that they're going through right now. I was at a free lunch offered by World Central Kitchen. That's the group that was founded by celebrity chef Jose Andres earlier this week, talking to just federal workers, furloughed workers across the board from a variety of different departments about what they're going through. And they're really struggling to try to figure out how they're going to pay, mortgage, daycare, car payments. The bills have not stopped, even though their paychecks have. And so I asked one, at what point is the breaking point? And she told me, we're at the breaking point.
Sad to hear. CBS's Natalie Brand joining us from Washington, D.C. Natalie, thanks for your time this morning.
Thank you.
It's now 6:53. We need to get you on the road. Let's check traffic every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we have a traffic alert in effect on eastbound I-90 trying to get over and through Mercer Island. This crash near Island Crest Way has only the HOV lane open. So all of the mainline lanes are closed at this point, and you're backed up from the middle of the lake. Plan on at least 40 minutes to work your way through that, merging all the way over and to get around. So it's a pretty decent backup and about a 20-minute delay now. 40-plus minutes to go from Seattle to Bellevue. That is way out of line. Going the other direction on the lake bridges are fine. Coming down from the north end, we're still seeing the off and on braking from before 526, the Boeing Freeway, off and on as you work your way down through the South Everett area because of an earlier crash we had. Still over an hour from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. And it looks like we might have a crash in the northbound direction just north of the 526 Boeing Freeway there as well, going up into Everett. So another tough morning getting into and through Snohomish County. Coming up from the south end, not too bad. We've got 50 minutes from Federal Way to Seattle. About an hour from Puyallup to Renton. You're going to sit for about 10 minutes trying to make your way through the lane restrictions in Pacific, and then it's heavy out of Auburn. And then Renton to Bellevue is about a half an hour. We continue to work with the slowing on eastbound Highway 18 over Tiger Mountain. Earlier crash in the westbound direction there was down the east slope, which really kind of put us behind. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Clouds and maybe a few pockets of drizzle this morning, but by the afternoon, that burns off. We're looking for afternoon sun, a high in the mid to upper 50s. Tomorrow, it'll be cloudy. On Friday, Halloween, it looks like we may have rain by the evening, so waterproof costume time. Right now in Seattle, it's 42.
Coming up, Texas Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against the makers of Tylenol, accusing the company of misleading pregnant women about the drug's safety. Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna shares his thoughts at 7:15.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-266-3845. Again, that's 800-266-3845. 800-266-3845.
Morning, Zoe. Got donuts.
Jeff Bridges, why are you still living above our garage?
Well, I dig the mattress, and I want to be in a T-Mobile commercial like you. Teach me, Saldana.
Oh, no, I'm not really prepared. I couldn't possibly. At T-Mobile, get the new iPhone 17 Pro on them. It's designed to be the most powerful iPhone yet and has the ultimate pro camera system.
Wow, impressive. Let me try. T-Mobile is the best place to get iPhone 17 Pro because they've got the best network.
Nice, Jeffrey.
You heard them. T-Mobile is the best place to get the new iPhone 17 Pro on us with eligible trade-in in any condition.
So, what are we having for lunch?
Dude, my work here is done.
24 monthly bill credits on Experience Beyond for well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 device connection charge. Credits ended. Balance due if you pay off earlier. Cancel. Finance agreement. iPhone 17 Pro, 256 gigs, $1,099.99, and new line minimum $100 plus a month plan with auto pay plus taxes and fees required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data 1H2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. I'm so excited to have my cousin Amelia with me today. So I saw that you visited the baby chicks.
I got to hold 7 of them. They were so cute.
Do you know why Wilcox chickens are so happy?
Because they get to play outside?
Yes.
Happy chickens are healthy chickens.
From our farm to your table, Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh
since 1909.
Experience the thrill of seeing orcas and humpback whales with Puget Sound Express. Join their family-run tours for guaranteed whale sightings, departing daily from Edmonds. These are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Book now at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. One of the most powerful Atlantic hurricanes in history, Melissa, has been downgraded to a Category 2 after making landfall in Cuba this morning. Homes are reported flooded, streets littered with debris. The BBC's Will Vernon.
750,000 people have been evacuated to temporary shelters across the country, with entire provinces switched off from the power grid. Right in the path of the hurricane is Santiago de Cuba, the island's second biggest city.
Melissa was a Category 5 storm when it slammed into Jamaica yesterday. WNBA player Tina Charles is still sheltering in place there.
About 3/4 of the island is devastated, underwater, especially on the western side. Communications have been crippled. You know, there's families that lost their home, everything that they have.
Officials in Haiti say at least 10 people were killed there in flooding from the storm. In Gaza, they're cleaning up after Israel attacked multiple targets overnight. Linda Gradstein reports from Jerusalem.
The Israeli army issued a statement Wednesday that the ceasefire is once again in effect after a series of Israeli airstrikes Tuesday and early Wednesday. Those airstrikes came after what Israel called a series of Hamas violations of the ceasefire brokered by President Trump earlier this month. The president backed the Israeli response after an army reservist was killed in southern Gaza.
Hospital officials in Gaza say Israel's strikes killed 104 people. It's day 29 of the government shutdown. California is among more than half of U.S. states suing the Trump administration to try to stop SNAP benefits from running out this weekend. Governor Gavin Newsom finds it ironic.
The Senate's going to be having lunch today. Lunch to discuss cuts to food programs. Hope they enjoy their lunch.
A federal judge has disqualified the top federal prosecutor in Los Angeles.
The judge ruled the Trump administration unlawfully bent the rules when it named Bill Asaley acting U.S. attorney at the end of July. The judge says Asaley was not next in line to assume that position, so he can no longer participate in active prosecutions. Two other acting U.S. attorneys, Alina Habba of New Jersey and Sigal Chadha of Nevada, have been disqualified for similar reasons. The appointment of Lindsay Halligan as acting U.S. Attorney of Virginia is also being challenged. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Just in, dictionary.com's word of the year. It's that number kids have been using to torment their parents and teachers endlessly.
6, and then they all go 7.
Yep, it's that playfully absurd term, 6-7, slang for so-so or whatever else you'd like it to mean. Dow is up 242. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
See, now that the adults are into 6-7.
No, it can't be in the dictionary, for heaven's sakes.
It's a number.
Yeah, but it's the word of the year, and it's 2 numbers?
2 numbers, yeah.
That just doesn't work on so many levels.
I don't make the rules.
Yeah, I know.
6, 7!
Why is 6 afraid of 7?
7, 8, 9?
There you go.
It's 7:03. Let's check traffic,
That's
Sully.
not the word of the year?
7:03.
And off the rails we go. A couple of crashes out there, a couple of biggies to talk about. I'm going to start on Mercer Island, where we have this crash, traffic alert in effect at Island Crest Way, eastbound I-90. Only the HOV lane is open for this crash. It's a pretty nasty issue there. We've got Seattle to Bellevue running at about 40 minutes on I-90. That is a 25-minute delay. So you might want to avoid using I-90 at this point. Pay the toll on 520 and get about your day. Coming down from the north end, we've got about an hour and 10-minute trip average from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. But going the other direction, northbound I-5, north of 526, getting into Everett, HOV and left general purpose lane are blocked there, so we're losing some time. Renton to Bellevue, about a half an hour, about an hour from Puyallup to Renton. No surprises for either one of those. Hour Federal Way to Seattle. And we do have a crash on southbound I-5 approaching JBLM, getting near the Berkeley exit. 2 right lanes are blocked there. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04 now. The fight over federal power in Portland is heating up again.
This time, a larger panel of judges on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals will decide whether President Trump can federalize Oregon National Guard troops and send them to Portland.
And KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with the latest.
It all comes down to those 11 judges in the Ninth Circuit in what has been a teeter-totter kind of a case. Earlier this month, Oregon won a temporary restraining order to stop the president from sending troops to Portland to protect that ICE facility there that we've seen in the headlines so many times. We've been down there twice now, Seattle's Morning News, for coverage there live from the scene. Then last week, in a 2-1 ruling, a Ninth Circuit panel of judges reversed that and said the president does have the authority to federalize some 200 National Guard troops, something the president liked.
You would think that would be common sense. We have the right to use the National Guard to put out trouble. Well, that's, how I got elected.
Now, the appeals court has pushed pause on its own ruling. They're blocking those troops so the Ninth Circuit can review the case en banc. En banc is a term you're going to hear in the next few days. It means a review of a full panel, the 11 judges. Well, this comes on the heels of reports of infighting at the Department of Homeland Security after a new mandate was put out from the White House to triple the number of arrests and deportations of illegal immigrants. DHS is reportedly replacing ICE directors in multiple cities, including Portland and Seattle. On Fox News, Deputy ICE Director Madison Sheehan downplayed any internal chaos.
With the support of President Trump and Secretary Noem, we're able to execute our mission for the American people, to be able to remove the worst of the worst, the violent gang members, murderers, and rapists.
Well, I talked with Attorney General Nick Brown just the other day. He told me there's no legal case the White House can make, he believes, for sending troops to American cities.
I mean, Portland's had its problems like any American city. But, at the same time they were saying that, they were running the Portland Marathon. Like, these are not things that you do in war-torn cities.
So Charlie and Manda, the Ninth Circuit will hear this case starting today. In the meantime, the U.S. Supreme Court could just swoop in and say, no, we're going to grab this case, or we're going to hear it for ourselves and hear oral arguments and have our own opinion. In the meantime, no troops are allowed to be deployed to Portland for now.
Okay, Luke, thank you for that update. It is now 7:06 on Seattle's Morning News. We're getting local reaction to Hurricane Melissa, which has caused significant damage in Jamaica. It's left a lot of local residents and their families abroad anxious for updates.
We get more on this from KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss.
It can be a little bit scary, but, we're pretty resilient people. So I'm, hoping that, they're just riding this out, and I'll be able to talk to them probably tomorrow or in a couple of days.
I have real anxiety. I can't even watch the news.
Carlene Comrie, the owner of Taste of the Caribbean in Seattle Central District, says her brother, sister, nieces, and nephews are all safe. But after living through Hurricane Gilbert in 1988, she knows a long ordeal lies ahead.
Westbound I-90 near Cle Elum is open for now, but full closures are coming. Governor Ferguson says WashDOT is designing repairs for the Bullfrog Road overpass, which was damaged last week by an oversized truck. Closures will begin once construction starts, mostly overnight, but a timeline isn't expected until December. The governor says the state will seek federal reimbursement dollars and hold the truck operator accountable.
Keeping you informed since 1974. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
Good morning. It's Wednesday. It's October 29th already. Along with Charlie Harger, I'm Manda Factor.
And we have Sully here. He is checking the roads on the 3s. That's still a traffic alert, right?
Yes, we just reopened another lane, but still only 2 out of 4 lanes are open across Mercer Island, eastbound I-90. So we're watching that really closely.
Yeah, rough drive to the east side this morning. David Burbank is off, so Jonah Oakleaf is producing the show today. Katrina Gishard is at the news desk following the big stories of the morning. And, of course, Nick Kreisha is here picking the music and running the board.
Coming up this hour of the show, the Attorney General of Texas has filed a lawsuit against the makers of Tylenol, accusing them of misleading pregnant women about the drug's safety. Former State Attorney General Rob McCann has some thoughts on this, and he'll join us at 7:15.
We should probably try to squeeze in a question for him about what's happening in Portland with those judges meeting. All right. It is 7:09 now on Seattle's Morning News. Air traffic controllers at SeaTac Airport work their first day without a paycheck, and they are alerting travelers to what's at stake.
More on this from KIRO Newsradio's James Lynch.
Off-duty air traffic controllers spent Tuesday morning handing out pamphlets. They want to educate the public on the critical role air traffic controllers play and how the shutdown hurts them and their families. Air Traffic Controllers Association Vice President Mark Rouse says the government shutdown needs to end now.
You're flying from Seattle to New York the entire trip. Your aircraft is in constant communication with air traffic controllers that aren't being paid.
Rouse says air traffic controllers are also working mandatory overtime, which adds to their stress and increases the chances of mistakes. James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Washington is taking the federal government to court over food assistance. Attorney General Nick Brown says SNAP benefits should continue even during a shutdown. He has joined a coalition of states suing the USDA for cutting off payments. Brown says the move will hurt seniors, children, and people with disabilities. The lawsuit claims USDA has emergency funds but is choosing not to use them. The states want a judge to turn benefits back on before November 1st.
Meanwhile, Washington is stepping in as federal food aid stalls. Governor Bob Ferguson says the state will send $2.2 million each week to food banks. First payment will go out Monday. It comes as those SNAP benefits are set to stop during the shutdown.
We're learning more about the 14,000 job cuts at Amazon. A state filing reveals the company will cut more than 2,000 roles in Washington. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, nearly 1,900 are in Seattle, hundreds more in Bellevue. Positions range from tech to human resources and design.
Employees affected by the recent layoffs are left facing uncertainty for the future. KIRO 7 TV's Jake Chapman spoke with some pretty stunned workers.
Just kind of in disbelief.
We spoke with this Amazon employee. She was one of the 14,000 company-wide layoffs at Amazon. And she tells me what stings the most about it. She just moved here 6 months ago for the job.
I'm the only one out here. Was just starting to form a community, but I don't know if I stay in Seattle or if I move to find another job.
A delivery company in Bremerton shutting down this week. Jard LLC says Amazon ended its contract unexpectedly. According to the Puget Sound Business Journal, the closure means more than 100 workers will lose their jobs Friday. It includes drivers, dispatchers, and office staff.
And the Peace Health Hospital Group announced plans to lay off 241 workers starting just 2 days after Christmas. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Elle Thomas.
In a warn notice, Peace Health said it's reducing its workforce, laying off 341 workers across its Washington campuses. That includes Bellingham, Longview, Cedar-Woolley, and Friday Harbor. The majority of the cuts are happening in Vancouver, Washington.
7:12 now. Let's get a check on weather. It's brought to us by State Roofing and Exteriors. Drizzle is moving out, so will the clouds soon enough, and we're looking for afternoon sunshine, a high of 57 today. Cloudy, 55 tomorrow, and on Friday, we're still working on the timing on this, but it does look like we will have rain at some point later in the day. Hopefully you won't get rained out for trick-or-treating. It is Halloween after all, but can't rule that out either. High of 54. Showers on Saturday and a high of 58. Right now in Seattle, we have cloudy skies and it's 47.
And it's 7:13. Time for another check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes. What's up, Sully?
I hope we don't get rained out. I just got a new little thing for my house that I'm putting up today.
What's your new little thing?
I've been wanting to find something like this for years. A garage door cover.
Oh, cool.
Because we have a long walkway into her, and we have stuff hanging all over the place, but I wanted to do something, and I found something, that a little cloth thing that we can hang over that hopefully would be pretty cool. So
how festive.
Yeah, I like doing Halloween, actually. So I hope, not hoping for a rain out. Looking at the roads now, we've had a couple of different crashes, and the biggest one continues to be for those of you on eastbound I-90 trying to get from Seattle over to Bellevue. This crash at Island Crest Way now blocking 2 right lanes, so the left general purpose lane and the HOV lane are still open, but we're backed up all the way over to the Seattle side, and we've got about a 40-minute trip from Seattle to Bellevue. That's 25 minutes longer than it should be, double the normal travel time. So big time delays there. If you want to use 520, you're going to have to pay the max toll, but you're going to get over there nice and easy and a lot faster. Coming down from the north end, we're still dealing with the remnants of this crash we had near 128th, and we're running well over an hour from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. And of course,
it's a reminder that yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
$15 in the southbound 405 corridor away from Linwood. Also working this crash northbound I-5 just north of 526 there in the South Everett area as well. We have the HOV lane and left general purpose lane blocked there, so not exactly a good day up in that general area. Valley Freeway about an hour. Federal Way to Seattle about an hour, and we're still working with this crash southbound 5 approaching Berkeley at JBLM. 2 right lanes are blocked there. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
7:14 now. Some Americans are trying to ditch saying like and but is that even possible? Here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard.
Let's see. This new trend is like sweeping across social media.
I'm attempting the challenge where you talk for a minute straight without using any filler words such as like, so, or I've seen a lot of people on my For You page do this, so, dang it, that didn't last long.
According to a new study by Preply, a global online language learning platform, Americans are getting increasingly self-conscious about their speech habits. And Google searches for filler words have shot up at least 144% in the last month. Public speaking coaches say ditching like and will boost confidence and your credibility.
This might be revisionist history.
Yeah.
But I think I remember my mother making me put a quarter in a jar every time I said like.
You sure that wasn't for cursing?
It wasn't for cursing. It was for the word like. I said it all the time, and she cured me.
My parents busted me for,
Uh-huh.
My dad will go, if I knew, you wouldn't be telling me. And I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm 50. I have kind of stuttered. I've said like and all my life. I've tried not to. I'm 50. I've just given up. Yeah, I'm just embracing it now. So I get it. What about you, Katrina?
Is a big one for me, so I need to work on that.
Everybody says
Here's my jar, Katrina. You can just pay me a quarter every time I say it.
Oh, no.
Manda trying to get a quick profit off Katrina. Thank you, Katrina. It's 7:16.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton suing the makers of Tylenol. He claims the drug was deceptively marketed to pregnant women, despite major medical groups insisting it's safe when used as directed. Joining us now is former State Attorney General Rob McKenna. Rob, we found out about this lawsuit earlier this week. What do you make of it?
Well, Ken Paxton is running for the U.S. Senate, and he's been stepping up these kinds of lawsuits in his office because they're a useful way to gain attention, draw attention to the fact that he's the Attorney General and he's taking actions that he says protect consumers. So it's important to have that background. And the second piece of background to have about General Paxton's office is that it looks a lot more like a plaintiff's law firm now than a standard Attorney General's office. He's filed lots of lawsuits with these kinds of broad claims that he'll often bring by teaming up with a plaintiff's firm he brings in as outside counsel. I haven't confirmed that he's done that in this case, but he's done it in other cases, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's using an outside law firm here as well. So you factor that in. And then third, politically, he's competing to get Donald Trump's endorsement in the Senate race against the incumbent U.S. Senator he's challenging, or another Republican. And President Trump so far has not endorsed in the race. But, when you read the press release and Paxton says we want to make America healthy again, and even more importantly, the fact that President Trump has been making claims about Tylenol and birth defects, it's pretty clear that this is another way to get the president's attention.
What are the merits of the case? Do they have one?
Well, it appears to me that we have a classic example here of conflating causation with correlation. So a huge number of Americans take Tylenol or acetaminophen. That includes a huge number of pregnant women because for a long, long time, pregnant women have been advised that this is a safe pain reliever to take when you're pregnant. Some number of those women will give birth to children with ADHD and or autism. So you have a correlation, right? They use Tylenol or another acetaminophen product and then the birth defects. But that's not the same thing as causation. There's already been one case brought against the maker of Tylenol, and it was thrown out for lack of evidence. And getting a case dismissed before there's even a trial is a pretty strong indication of weak evidence. So correlation is not enough to prove your argument in court. You have to have scientific evidence of causation, and from what I've been reading, that doesn't exist at the present time.
Well, you were an attorney general, Rob, and you have some unique insight that most of us do not. What are the politics involved here? When you are the AG, how do you decide this is a suit that's going to be filed because of its merits? I'm sure you would say every suit is, but also how much politically it helps a person who is the incumbent of that office?
Well, it is an effective way to get the public to pay attention to you. In many states, the Attorney General is the highest profile statewide elected official other than the governor. And it's because they're able to bring high profile litigation of all kinds and really lean into their role as the protector of consumers, the protector of competition in the marketplace and so forth. This really started in a big way back in the late 90s when a group of attorneys general, including our own, Attorney General Chris Gregoire at the time, brought the first lawsuits against Big Tobacco, which was also notable because it was the first really large-scale instance of plaintiffs' attorneys working with AG offices to go after a big company based on allegations of deception and unfairness towards consumers. And what it allowed is that it allowed the plaintiff's attorneys to get access to a lot of documents that AGs could obtain through investigations that might not even turn up in standard litigation discovery. It's very powerful. And we've seen since then, a long series of cases, some of which involve outside plaintiffs' firms, some of which do not. But I think you can really trace the rise of AGs in terms of their much higher public profile back to the Big Tobacco lawsuits in the late 90s.
Rob, my legal background is extremely limited, non-existent, but I'm kind of surprised that Tylenol has not filed some sort of defamation suit or something over all of this. Are you?
I hadn't thought of that. That's a good point. I think that first they have to put out this fire and get this case knocked out. The problem with suing the Attorney General for defamation is it's a very high standard. So they're going to have to prove maliciousness, and they're going to have to prove that the Attorney General actually knew the lawsuit was based on false premises. He knew that there was no basis for it. He brought it anyway. That's a very high bar for them to clear. So I think for now they're going to focus on getting this case knocked out on the same grounds that the New York case was knocked out, which is lack of evidence.
Okay, Rob, while we still have you, we've talked a few times about the situation in Portland. Announced yesterday that the case about having National Guard troops on the ground there now moving to en banc in the 9th District. First of all, what is en banc, and what do you expect the next steps to be here?
Well, when a party loses in front of the standard 3-judge panel at the 9th Circuit Court of Appeals or any court of appeals, they have an option to ask the full 9th Circuit, all the judges, to review that ruling. And all the judges working together will decide, basically by taking a vote, whether or not they will review the case sitting as a whole. So I had a case en banc at the 9th Circuit when I was Attorney General that was successful. We got the 3-judge panel overruled. In fact, we got it overruled unanimously by the en banc panel. I think I made that argument in front of 15 9th Circuit judges, which is an interesting experience. But that is just it's another part of this, checks and balances, an opportunity for additional review. Failing that, then their only remaining option would be to try to get the Supreme Court to grant review, which of course is very challenging to accomplish.
Do you think it does wind up in front of the Supreme Court?
It could as an issue, but not necessarily this specific case. The Supreme Court will typically wait to see what a number of circuit courts of appeal are doing. If it's just the 9th Circuit, they can just leave the decision alone. You have to have at least 4 Supreme Court justices who want to review it. There may be 4, I don't know. But typically they'll wait until they have multiple conflicting Court of Appeals rulings on an issue, because that creates a conflict, and that's the role of the Supreme Court to resolve.
Rob, thank you so much for letting us lean on you to sort these things out. Former State Attorney General Rob McKenna.
Let's check traffic now. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And we are working with a pretty nasty crash involving 3 cars on eastbound I-90 right at Island Crestway in Mercer Island. Only the HOV lane, left general purpose lane, are open. Just got talked to Rick Johnson from the State Patrol. Pretty fuel leak there, and so that's why it's taking so long. They're trying to pick up some fuel. Right now it's 40 minutes from Seattle to Bellevue. That is a 30-minute delay. New crash to tell you about. Thank you to Jen and James on southbound I-5 in Marysville. We have the right lane blocked on southbound 5 just after 529, and we've added 15 minutes to the drive from Arlington to Everett, 30 minutes there. Once you get through that, pretty standard day the rest of the way. Everett to Seattle or Bellevue, about hour and 20 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, about an hour and 15 now, with 40 of those minutes from South Center, really filling in. Federal Way to Seattle, Renton to Bellevue, about 35 minutes, an hour from Puyallup to Renton, and we've cleared the crash on northbound I-5 going past the Boeing Freeway. All lanes have reopened there. This report brought to you by FlySeaportAir.com, introducing convenient flights between Boeing Field and Portland. Seaport Airlines, parking just steps away, no TSA, SeaportAir.com.
You've been wiring pounds to a second wife in London.
It's not what it looks like.
And here she is now.
Sure it isn't.
Hello, darling.
Elizabeth?
Did you know our husband used a bank instead of Wise to send you money?
What an imbecile. Well,
see, even your secret wife knows that banks are slow and hide fees in overseas transfers.
Those cheaters.
If you want to send money overseas, use Wise. They're faster, and they don't hide fees.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Call
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Looking for high-quality assisted living that won't drain your life savings? At Care Partners Living, we offer compassionate care at a price that helps stretch and preserve your estate. No unnecessary luxury, just the support you need with dignity and heart. And if you ever need to convert to Medicaid, you don't have to move. With communities across Washington and Arizona, including new locations in Port Orchard, Sumner, Mercer Island, and North Creek Bothell, there's a Care Partners community near you. Care Partners Living, compassionate care and peace of mind. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Hey, it's John Curley with some great news. If your home's heating or cooling is uneven, noisy, or expensive, listen up. The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump System from Home Comfort Lines is changing the game. It gives you room-by-room control and next-gen efficiency, so you're only heating where you need it. That means real comfort and real savings, and every quilt system qualifies for max tax credits. Trusted for 50 years. Call the comfort people today at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills, backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
With football season comes cooler weather, so if you need new windows and doors, don't drop the ball. Steve Rabel here. Call on locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their wide selection of windows and doors always beats the competition, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Carpoolers using the SR-167 Express toll lanes now need a Flex Pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Having Good to Go always costs less than pay by mail. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning, it's 7:30. A scary scene in Seattle. A driver in crisis hit a string of cars and caused a van to flip over, and all of it was caught on video.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey joins us live with the latest.
And you're going to be watching on our YouTube feed right now because we're going to show you that video. I mean, take a look at this. Credit individuals independent journalist Steve Hickey, known as Photog Steve, for grabbing this video in North Seattle. Right there, you're going to see that car go through the intersection there at Aurora Avenue North and 130th, right next to the Chick-fil-A, just plowed right into a van. The van flips over, and then the car continues and hits about 3 other vehicles that were just sitting facing the other way at a red light, waiting for the light to cycle. And as the video continues, it'll go back to the impact again, but you're looking at fire trucks and ambulances arriving on the scene and police there. Man, that video is incredible. SPD says that driver in crisis ran the red light there, sideswiped the van. The age range of victims, a 63-year-old was the oldest. The youngest victim, 6 years old. Police say the woman was having a mental health episode. That's what they call it. She was cited, but she wasn't arrested. She was taken to Harborview Medical Center for evaluation. Again, credit to Steve Hickey for grabbing this video. Traffic on Aurora there after that accident was backed up for nearly 2 hours. We're going to put that up on our social media channels, and I'm going to get it on mynorthwest.com so you can take a look as well. If you're driving to work, you get there, pop it up. It's worth looking at.
It's terrifying.
It is.
Do we know any more about the injuries?
No. Obviously, they're going to be the person in the van was trapped for a while and injured, being described as minor injuries. Thank goodness no one's seriously hurt.
Thank you, Luke. It's 7:32 now. Air traffic controllers at SeaTac Airport and around the country work their first day without a paycheck as the government shutdown moves through day 29 now.
Air traffic controllers union vice president Mark Roush says it all comes down to safety.
Stopping funding and stopping paying air traffic controllers certainly doesn't provide additional safety. It's just going to add that additional distraction and introduce risk.
Off-duty air traffic controllers spent yesterday at SeaTac handing out informational pamphlets to travelers while trying to figure out how they'll feed their families.
I-90 westbound will remain open in Cle Elum for now. Governor Bob Ferguson says closures will be needed to repair an overpass that was damaged by an oversized truck. KIRO 7 TV's Monique Minglavin has more.
The overpass was demolished in a single night, allowing traffic to open back up. However, rebuilding it will take months. So our next update for this stretch of the road likely won't be until December. Until then, we can expect periodic closures of westbound lanes here as needed.
It's 7:33, and that's time for traffic around here. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. Sully, take it away.
Well, the good news is it appears that repair will be somewhat straightforward because you could just lay the girders back down and then redo the bridge deck. So hopefully it won't be too technically challenging, at least on the engineering side. Well, right now we've got several different issues to tell you about that include 30-minute delays. Going to start eastbound I-90 across Mercer Island. We've got this crash at Island Crest Way. Only the HOV lane and left general purpose lane are open, and we're backed up all the way over almost to I-5. Give yourself about 45 minutes now to go from Seattle to Bellevue. That is a 30 to 32-minute delay, so huge delays getting across the lake on I-90. Coming down from the north end, we have a 30-minute delay from Arlington into the Everett area because of this crash blocking the right lane just after the 529 exit there in Marysville. It's going to take you, 45 minutes there as well from Arlington down into Everett. Once you get through that, it's a pretty standard drive for I-5 and 405, hour and 20-minute trips for you guys. Northbound 405, we're getting closer to 45 minutes now. Not only are we heavy through the Renton S-curves, but we have a crash on northbound 405 just after I-90 getting into South Bellevue. I'll have more for you on that one in 10 minutes. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is well over an hour, also about an hour and 15 from Federal Way to Seattle. And DOT just closed all lanes of westbound 18 getting up to the Tiger Mountain Summit. This is where overnight we had a crash truck go off into the ditch. Some trees have come down, so they're right now in the process of trying to remove all of that debris. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seeing a few lingering showers this morning, just very light. We're going to see sunshine by afternoon, though. 57 our high. Tomorrow staying mostly cloudy and 55, and rain on Friday for Halloween. The heavy stuff should start late in the evening. 54 on Friday. Right now in Seattle, it's cloudy and 51.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
7:36 now, time for this morning's commentary. Last week, another truck hit another overpass. This time, it was westbound I-90 near Cle Elum. An oversized load slammed into the bridge, shut down the highway for hours, and forced backups through the mountains for days. It was the third bridge strike in recent months. We had State Route 167, Highway 410. At this point, you wonder if our bridges are shrinking or if truck drivers just stopped looking up. King County Council Vice Chair Reagan Dunn has had enough. He's proposing what he calls the stupid motorist law. Overheight drivers would face bigger fines and pay for the damage they cause, plus the economic ripple effects. We're talking millions in repairs annually, not to mention the thousands of people stuck in traffic wondering why they're not moving. Hard to argue with the logic. If your truck won't fit under a bridge, maybe check before you leave. Revolutionary concept, I know. But it got me thinking, if we're going to legislate stupidity on the roads, why stop at trucks? How about the stupid merging law for the driver who speeds up to block someone from merging, then slams on the brake 10 seconds later?
Preach!
Or the person who merges onto I-5 doing 40 like they're joining a funeral procession.
Woo! Preach!
The stupid rain law. Every October, the first drizzle hits and half of Seattle drives like water is a new invention. Rain? Seattle? I've never seen such a thing. Better speed up and follow the car in front of me really closely. The stupid roundabout law. Apparently we need this one. You yield before entering, not after. And if you stop in the middle to think about it, you've already failed. Okay, let's go multimodal. The stupid pedestrian law covers anyone crossing mid-block at night wearing all black, staring at their phone like cars don't exist if you don't look at them. The stupid cyclist law for riders who treat red lights as suggestions and bike lanes as optional. Nothing says share the road like ignoring every rule that makes sharing possible. The truth is, we would all qualify for at least one of these. Everyone has done something careless, impatient, or just plain dumb that made someone else's drive or ride worse. The difference is that when you do it behind the wheel of a truck taller than a bridge, it costs real money and sometimes real safety. And maybe that's the real point here. Not punishment, but a reminder that our decisions behind the wheel have consequences. Your impatience becomes someone else's 3-hour delay. Your inattention becomes damaged roadways. Your I thought it would fit becomes another I-90 closure. Reagan Dunn's proposal makes sense because some mistakes are too expensive to keep making. But honestly, if we all just paid a little more attention and were a little less stupid about how we get around, we wouldn't need a law at all. Until then, maybe check if your truck fits under the bridge. Just a thought. That's a commentary for October 29th, 2025. You can text us at 888-973-5476 or leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
Can I get an amen?
Let's head over to the cheering section now. So
wow.
Yeah. I'm Charlie's hype man. Woo!
You're fired up, both of you.
Man, you know, when I do a political commentary, you probably shouldn't do that.
No, I figured this was probably the opportunity.
Yeah. Let Sully
lose my mind
cook.
a bit.
Yeah. Love
Let Sully cook.
No.
All right. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we've got several different issues out there that have 30-minute delays. One eastbound 90, another southbound 5 in Marysville. We'll talk about it coming up next.
A 55-yard interception return by Easley.
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Number 45, Kenny Easley, as pure an athlete as has ever played that free safety position. Saw him the very first day at training camp after his first-round draft choice. All of us veterans looked at each other and said, we've got something here, and we sure did.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight, and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe.
That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better. Better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these 3 books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
I love the fact that Mike Novak sells more homes than anybody else. This guy works so hard. You know what's happening? People are selling their homes again. And if you don't have Mike Novak's name on that sign, well, you're wasting your time and your house is just going to be sitting on the market. Mike is so confident that he can sell your house quickly. And for more, you'll pay no commission if Mike Novak doesn't sell that home in 21 days. So go to meetthenovaks.com. I'll spell Novaks for you. Novaks. Meetthenovaks.com.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
It's 7:43, and Chris Sullivan is watching traffic.
And we've had a rough morning staying away from each other today. We've been bumping in pretty hard all day. We've got 2 big problems, one on eastbound I-90. I'm going to start with, we've been dealing with this one for a while. Multiple cars involved on eastbound 90 on Mercer Island, right by Island Crest Way. There was a fuel leak, and so they've been trying to mop that up. That's one of the reasons why still only the HOB lane and left general purpose lane are open, and we're backed up all the way almost to I-5. It's 45 minutes alone just from Seattle to Bellevue on I-90. That's a 35-minute delay. 520, even though you're paying the max toll, is going to be wide open. The other spot we're dealing with is now a 35-minute delay getting from Arlington down into and through Marysville. Crash blocking the right lane just after the 529 interchange in Marysville. 50 minutes from Arlington into Everett. That's just rude. And then after that, you've got a relatively normal drive of an hour and 25 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. All southbound routes like 527, Highway 9 are all just jammed up as well coming down out of Snohomish County. I-5 also really jammed up across the Ship Canal Bridge. Speaking of the rest of the map, we've got Federal Way to Seattle at an hour and 15 with 40 of those minutes from South Center. The Renton to Bellevue Drive is 45 minutes. It looks like we have cleared the crash just north of I-90, but it is still very heavy through Factoria. Hour and 15-minute trip from Puyallup to Renton. Really slow up the Fife Hill, and they have reopened one of the 2 lanes now on westbound 18, heading up the east slope of Tiger Mountain. They're removing some trees and a truck that went into the ditch early this morning. This report brought to you by Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. GlobalCU.org.
Our forecast, a few lingering showers this morning, just light stuff, but we'll see sunshine by afternoon. A nice day, 57. Tomorrow stayed mostly cloudy and 55, and then we're going to see showers early Friday with the rain picking up later in the day. Into the evening hours is when we'll see the heaviest of the rain, evening and overnight. 54 for your Halloween. Right now it's 51 in Seattle.
An NBA player's hairline just took an L on national television. Here's Katrina with more.
The Boston Celtics had their first win of the season as they blew out the New Orleans Pelicans 122-90 on Monday night. But one of the biggest headlines hasn't been about the team's play on the court, but rather Jaylen Brown's hair. So fans spotted Brown's spray-on hairline smudging a Pelican player's jersey during the game. And last night, the Celtics star went live on Twitch with this message.
I blame Boston. 10 years of stress.
The Frederick joint.
10 years of stress. The media, the championship. Y'all caused this.
Brown was getting his remaining hair buzzed off during his live stream last night. The Celtics will be back in action tonight.
What a way to take it in stride. Okay. Thanks, Katrina. It's 7:46.
Let's go from basketball to football. The Seattle Seahawks season is approaching halfway point, and we want to send you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks game November 9th. All you have to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app, click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't have the app, simply text app to 888-973-5476 and we'll send you a link. Enter daily to increase your chances. The contest runs through Monday, November 3rd.
Coming up, we'll talk about a new option for affordable primary care. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Hey, Mike Salk here. Who's got family coming to town this holiday season? I know I do. My parents will be staying at my house for a few days over Thanksgiving. And obviously, you want to make sure your home is prepared. You want to present a warm environment. And that starts with a well-heated, properly insulated home. Make sure your insulation is ready for that challenge this year by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come to your house, just like they did at mine, do a free corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and your attic. If your home has damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, get it fixed before the cold weather really shows up. If you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%. But you got to act now because many of these rebates are ending at the end of the year, including federal incentives. Call Crawl Pros. They're the crawl space experts and learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free. Then see what energy rebates you're eligible for. Go to crawlpros.com.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Remember when they used to ask, what do you want to be when you grow up? At Bank of America, we ask every day, what would you like the power to do? When you work here, you help build businesses, inspire communities, and forge legacies. And now we've raised our U.S. minimum wage to $25 an hour. So the opportunity to do more also comes with competitive pay. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/25. Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
Right now at Les Schwab Tires, it's the Fall Tire Fest. Save up to $120 instantly on select sets of 4 all-weather tires. You'll get year-round, all-weather performance, no matter what Mother Nature throws your way. And every tire comes with America's best tire warranty. 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. Just another way you'll get more from less. Stop by a store or shop online at leschwab.com. Limited time offer while supplies last. See leschwab.com/sale for details.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
7:49 now. Healthcare is the issue that has the government shut down right now.
Jim Axelrod from CBS News reports on a new option for affordable primary care.
In Bangor, Maine, Jeff Clark has something a lot of Americans do not. High marks for his health care checkup.
How did the expectation of what this experience would be like measure up to the reality once you were here?
If I was doing it in a dream, it was exactly like my dream.
Clark is a new patient of Allie and Brad Tuttle.
Scan the QR code.
Yep. The husband and wife who started Apotheosis Health, offering something called direct primary care.
It is simplified healthcare. Me and you.
After a decade of working at cancer centers, Brad, a nurse, and Allie, a nurse practitioner, now offer an alternative care model that cuts out the insurance middleman.
Kind of going back to the family doctor feel, where you go in, you're not rushed, really develop that relationship.
For less than $100 a month, patients get the basics: physicals, blood tests, discounted prescriptions, and a patient-first attitude.
If you can only be seen on Saturday mornings, we'll make that work for you.
1/3 of Americans do not have primary care providers, which drives up chronic disease rates, hospitalizations, and late diagnoses.
A lot of cancer is preventable with screenings, mammograms, colonoscopies. If you don't have a primary care provider ordering these things for you, they're not getting done.
About 1/4 of primary care today is done by healthcare providers who are not physicians, but instead nurse practitioners like Allie.
If your issues are complex, you need to see a specialist for that. Most things, though, can be addressed here.
A decade ago, there were 140 practices across the U.S. Today, there are nearly 3,000. For Danny Cotu, the Tuttles provide exactly what she feels she needs. And she was diagnosed with leukemia last year. Do you feel in control of your health care?
Absolutely. Yes, I feel that I'm the driver and they're my co-pilots.
Plus, in an age of physician burnout, with relentless patient quotas to be met, this approach, say the Tuttles, is not just good for the patients, but good for the providers.
You gotta put it right here.
And their families.
It increases like a work-life balance for providers, and that's, why we're here is we have 3 kids. We'd like to spend some time with them.
That's not something we hear a lot about these days from providers or patients. Satisfaction. I'm Jim Axelrod in Bangor, Maine.
Character AI has announced it will ban anyone under 18 from using its chatbots.
AI chatbots have been suspected in a growing number of child suicides. Cynthia Peralta of Colorado sued Character.ai after her 13-year-old daughter Juliana's death. She found out Juliana had shared her suicidal thoughts with AI characters on the app, some of whom had engaged in sexual conversations with her.
It was no different than her telling the wall or telling the plant that she was going to take her life. There was nobody there to help.
Last month, OpenAI announced new parental controls for its chatbots. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A timely discovery in Los Angeles, as we hear from CBS's Deborah Rodriguez.
Just in time for Halloween,
The Bride of Frankenstein.
the discovery of a grave containing the remains of Elsa Lanchester, who played the Bride of Frankenstein in the 1935 movie. Scott Michaels, founder of Hollywood's Deadly Departed Tours, says he came across the marker in a rose garden under the actress' married name, Lawton. He unveiled it on what would have been her 123rd birthday. Until now, movie historians believed Lanchester had been cremated after she died in 1986, and her ashes spread at sea. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Lanchester's husband, Charles Lawton, starred in classics like The Hunchback of Notre Dame and Mutiny on the Bounty.
It's 7:53 now, and it's time to check traffic with Chris Sullivan.
So tired of them getting the name pronunciation wrong. Isn't it Frankenstein?
Frankenstein! Sully's going to put on the Ritz for us now.
Yes, I am. I got to give you guys some laughs this morning because it's been rough. We got a couple places with 30-minute delays or more. One of them, westbound I-90, trying to get from I-5 in Seattle over across Mercer Island. Crash still blocking the 2 right lanes right at Island Crest Way. In the process of doing some fuel spill cleanup there right now. Hoping they'll get some updates on that quickly. But, man, it's 45 minutes to go from Seattle to Bellevue on I-90. That's 35 minutes slower than it should be. Also have a 35-minute delay on southbound I-5 from Arlington down into Marysville. We're backed up almost all the way from Smoky Point down through 529. That's where the right lane is blocked. 50 minutes from Arlington to Everett is a 30-minute delay. And then you have an hour and a half from Everett to Seattle. We are bumper to bumper from basically 145th all the way down across the Ship Canal Bridge. It is not pleasant. 405, hour and 20 minutes there. Federal Way to Seattle, hour and 15. Rented to Bellevue, close to 50 now. Those S-curves are active and then slow the rest of the way. Valley Freeway's got about an hour and 15-minute trip for you, so we are struggling mightily. This report brought to you by Lake Washington Windows and Doors. It's been voted the best in the Northwest. Celebrate by saving 25% off new windows through October and defer payments for the next 12 months. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Few isolated showers this morning, otherwise sunshine by afternoon and 57. Right now it's 51 in Seattle.
Coming up in the next hour, we'll speak with former federal prosecutor Erica Evans, who is running for Seattle City Attorney. That's on the way at 8:15 on Seattle's Morning News.
Why is K2 Vision RLE a permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers? How is it that you'll never develop a cataract after K2 Vision RLE? And how is RLE different from LASIK?
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision RLE. We'll answer those questions and others when you join us for our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Andy, what are some of the other questions you hear?
Well, how long is the procedure and recovery? Or who's a good candidate for RLE?
And we'll also answer, how much does RLE cost? Is there financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE?
Find out how K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to glasses, contacts, and readers.
And cataracts too.
Right, no more cataracts.
K2 Vision's free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Space will be limited, so register now at k2visionrle.com.
Join us at our free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Sign up at k2visionrle.com.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle.
I'm Macy House with Baird Global Investment Banking. In today's markets, global financial capabilities aren't worth much without personal attention to your priorities. Baird Banking, Research, and Private Equity professionals are located across 3 continents, sharing more than investment expertise. As employee owners of our firm, we all have a personal stake in your success, here in the Pacific Northwest and around the world. Discover the Baird difference. Visit rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Eric Johnson here. I covered a lot of accidents over the past 30 years or so, but I never got to say much about what to do after a crash. Be honest, do you know what evidence to collect, what pictures to take, what documents to request, or what you shouldn't say to your insurance company? The Washington Accident Book Series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the roads throw at them. Know your rights and how to avoid common mistakes after an accident by getting your free copy at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Once again, homeowners have voted Valentine Roofing the best roofing company in the Pacific Northwest. That makes 3 years running. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. I'm confident that when that red Valentine van pulls up to your house, you're going to get the same Valentine experience I did. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and a team that always goes the extra mile. If your roof is leaking, if you need new gutters, attic insulation, even exterior cleaning, give Valentine Roofing a call. You'll get a lifetime warranty on all new roofs and zero down financing. Call 206 Roofing to get your free estimate today.
One day, the words on the page blur. You hold the menu a little farther away. It's subtle. Until it's not. At Near and Far Vision Partners, we help you see clearly, near, far, and in between. Expert surgeons, advanced technology, sharper focus for every moment. Schedule your complimentary consultation at nearandfarvision.com or call 425-900-2414. Near and Far Vision Partners in Bothell.
Carpoolers using the SR 167 Express toll lanes now need a flex pass set to HOV mode to ride free. That's a change. Having Good to Go always costs less than pay by mail. That is not a change. Learn more at goodtogo167.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Steve Kathan. Hurricane Melissa blowing past Cuba. It made landfall there before dawn as a Category 3 storm. It's now weakened to a 2. Parts of eastern Cuba could get as much as 20 inches of rain. Damage assessments are going on in Jamaica, where there are power outages, widespread damage after what this woman describes as a ferocious hit from the storm.
It was horrendous. It was horrible. The sounds were terrible.
WNBA player Tina Charles is with family in Jamaica.
Communications have been crippled. You know, there's families that lost their home, everything that they have, especially in St. Elizabeth in that parish. It's very gut-wrenching. Leaves me emotional. And I plan to do anything that I can to help Jamaica.
Now to the Middle East, where Israel attacked targets in Gaza, claiming Hamas violated the ceasefire. CBS's Elizabeth Palmer.
The strikes stopped this morning. There were, according to the Gaza Health Ministry, 100 casualties, some deaths, and quite a few children. For the moment, the ceasefire is apparently back in effect and holding. I think anybody would admit it's pretty fragile.
The U.S. and South Korea have advanced trade talks during President Trump's visit. Although a deal's not yet been signed, the two sides are talking about $350 billion that would be invested in the American economy. Day 29 of the government shutdown, and in just a few days, some 42 million people will be affected by it when food assistance benefits expire. CBS's Jim Krasula.
Georgia Miarton heads up a nonprofit organization that helps provide food to families in need in South Carolina.
We know that on November 1st, those 260,000 households, 550,000 people will suddenly not be able to use this important food benefit to meet their basic nutritional needs.
Democratic leaders in more than half of U.S. states have sued the Trump administration to try and stop SNAP benefits from running out this weekend.
The AI chip giant NVIDIA today became the world's first $5 trillion company. CBS Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady.
It means that if you're looking at your 401k today, NVIDIA, of course, a big driver of a lot of that, with a lot of money being invested in index funds, which track, the S&P, which the NVIDIA is a part of.
Federal Reserve policymakers wrap up a two-day meeting today. It's expected there will be a quarter-point interest rate drop. And checking Wall Street right now, the Dow is up 229 points. The S&P up 16. NASDAQ up 129. This is CBS News.
The annual Progressive Keys to Progress program provides vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com.
It's been a rough commute this morning. At 8:03, let's check in with Sully.
And it continues to be. I'm going to start with the biggest issue, which is for those of you on eastbound I-90 trying to get from Seattle over to Mercer Island and then over to Bellevue. We continue to work with our traffic alert that has the two right lanes blocked for this crash at Island Crest Way. Bumper to bumper all the way over to I-5 and a 45-minute trip from Seattle to Bellevue. That is a 30-minute delay. They're really working hard to try to get the fuel spill taken care of and clean up the lanes, so hopefully we can get another lane open, but right now that is very difficult. If you want to go up and use the 520 corridor, it's wide open, but of course you will pay the max toll. Other place we have a 35-minute delay, southbound I-5, working your way from Arlington into Marysville and then down into Everett. 50 minutes on that commute because of a crash in the right lane just south of 529 in Marysville. And then after that, you've got an hour-and-a-half trip to greet you from Everett to Seattle. Bumper to bumper up in the north end, and same thing from about 145th on in. 405, hour and 25, so not a great drive there. Rented to Bellevue, bumper to bumper from 167 all the way up and through Factoria. 50 minutes for the drive there. Valley Freeway, hour and 15 with 35 from Auburn. It is ugly. Federal Way to Seattle, hour and 15 as well. This report brought to you by Wilcox Family Farms Eggs. Fresh food comes from local farms. For healthier eggs with 3 times the omega-3s, choose Wilcox Omega-3 eggs at Costco, locally fresh since 1909.
8:04 on the Wednesday, October 29th, 2025 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
And a major legal showdown is brewing here in the Northwest.
A larger panel of Ninth Circuit judges now stepping in to decide whether President Trump can send Oregon National Guard troops to Portland.
KIRO Newsradio's Luke Ducey is here with the update.
Well, this case has taken a lot of twists and turns over the weeks, which started earlier this month when Oregon won a temporary restraining order to stop the president from sending troops to Portland to protect that ICE facility we've all been seeing in the news lately. Then last week, in a 2-1 ruling, a Ninth Circuit panel of judges reversed that and said the president does have the authority to federalize some 200 Oregon National Guard troops, and the president commented,
"You would think that would be common sense. We have the right to use the National Guard to put out trouble." Well, that's, how I got elected.
Well, now the appeals court has pushed pause on its own ruling. They're blocking those troops so the Ninth Circuit can review the case en banc. En banc is a term you're going to hear in the next few days. It means a review of a panel of 11 judges. Here's how Portland's Mayor Keith Wilson is reacting.
We have said all along that the number of federal troops that we need in Portland is 0. And with the Ninth Circuit Court agreeing today for this reconsideration is just one more important note to the nation that we're doing everything right.
And a lot of states, of course, are watching how the Ninth Circuit will rule on this issue, including our Attorney General, Nick Brown. I spoke with him right here in our studio just the other day.
I don't think most Americans want to live in a city where there's National Guard members with rifles standing on the corner or walking through their parks every day. And I don't think that's the country we should aspire to be.
Charlie and Amanda, A.G. Brown tells me he believes the president does not have the power to federalize troops and send them to American cities. Supporters of the president argue he has every right to, under the Constitution, to defend ICE facilities that are under physical attack. That's one of the big questions that the court's going to be facing. Is Portland, that ICE facility and others, are they under physical attack? Well, the Ninth Circuit will hear that case today. However, it could be that the U.S. Supreme Court swoops in and grabs this case for themselves. We'll see.
Appreciate it, Luke. It's 8:07 now. The destruction from Hurricane Melissa being felt by those in our local Jamaican community.
We get more on this from KIRO 7 TV's Jason Sloss.
Hurricane Melissa prompting Chris Hinton to close down his food truck in Everett for the day as he tried to get updates from his family back home in Jamaica.
Very painful. The roof is gone. Yeah.
Is everybody okay?
So far, I spoke with them earlier this morning. They were crying, and the internet just went out. So I don't even know what's going on right now at this moment.
Others in the local Jamaican community are on edge as they get updates on the widespread destruction.
A train hit a car near the Edmonds Ferry Terminal yesterday. Happened around 11:40 in the morning. Police say a white Camry was sticking into the crossing. One person had minor injuries, went to Swedish Edmonds. Roads reopened after about an hour, and the ferry route resumed.
Keeping you informed since 1974.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Thanks for being with us this morning. It's Wednesday, October 29th already.
It's a beautiful day, and I feel as if anything is possible.
Me too. I'm guessing those are lyrics I don't know. It's running down a dream.
Yeah, see, now you're getting it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. It's still early.
No, it's not. It's almost lunchtime.
Sully is here watching traffic for us. You've been just busy all morning long. We got that situation.
Yeah, our drivers have been taking it hard this morning. 2 places where we have 30 to 35-minute delays. Eastbound 90 over Mercer Island and southbound 5 in Marysville. Yeah, it's been rough today.
Okay, well, keep us updated. Oh, for sure. Producer David Burbank is off today. Jonah Oakleaf ably filling in for him. And we have Nick Crashow running the board and picking the petty tunes. I love it, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
Well done. Coming up this hour of the show, former federal prosecutor Erica Evans says her campaign for Seattle City Attorney is focused on bringing accountability and equity to the city's justice system. Hear our conversation with her.
And G. Scott stops by to give us a sneak peek at his upcoming interview with Mayor Bruce Harrell. He did this interview along with former Seahawk Doug Baldwin.
I can't wait.
Yeah, so this is very interesting. I've seen some previews online. We'll get more previews from G coming up at 8:45.
It's now 8:09. It's the 4th week of the government shutdown. Yesterday, a significant day for air traffic controllers as it was the first day without a paycheck.
And KIRO News Radio's James Lynch has more from SeaTac Airport.
Air traffic controllers here in Seattle are spending the day handing out informational pamphlets. They say they want the flying public informed about what's going on with the shutdown and the potential consequences, particularly among air traffic controllers who may be distracted. National Air Traffic Controller Association Vice President Mark Roush.
How am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to pay for gas to go to work where I'm going to get a $0 paycheck?
Roush says he still believes it is safe to fly and says he would not hesitate to put his family on a plane during the shutdown. At SEA, James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Well, the shutdown means more than 3,000 children in our state may lose access to Head Start services. Local leaders say 9 preschool programs will lose their federal funding if the shutdown isn't solved by Saturday. One center in Vancouver already announced its closure, impacting 175 low-income children and their families.
The state is sending millions to food banks as SNAP benefits run out. Governor Bob Ferguson ordered $2.2 million a week for grants. The money will help food banks handle demand as federal food assistance stops on November 1st. More than 900,000 Washingtonians rely high on SNAP benefits. Ferguson says the state will keep looking for ways to fill the gap. He's also encouraging people to donate or volunteer at local food banks.
A man was caught on camera torching a family's Halloween display in West Seattle. KIRO 7 TV's Samantha Lomibao spoke with the owners of that home.
Becca and Chris Sandy woke up to find their Halloween display burnt and charred on Tuesday. Their surveillance video captured it all. A man setting 2 fires using their decorations as fuel.
Then he kicked this coffin down and dragged the Bob Ross skeleton into it, set Bob Ross on fire, and then began grabbing the little skeleton animals and throwing them in there as well.
Nick Haskell tells me he rushed out to confront the suspect. Hey! As he ran after him, other neighbors jumped in to put out the fires.
It's 8:11 now, and I have to ask this in the form of a question. I almost forgot.
Okay.
Is Fox 13 sports director Aaron Levine still winning on Jeopardy?
Mm-hmm.
Here's host Ken Jennings with Final Jeopardy last night.
Show them the clue. This brand got its name in 1940 after a distillery executive took friends on a hunting trip. 30 seconds starting now, players. Good luck.
As the current champion, Aaron answered last, and he didn't have a guess.
It's a brand of bourbon. You were thinking along the right lines, but they were hunting for wild turkeys. What is wild turkey? What did you wager, Aaron? It comes down to this. 6801 will leave you with $8,399. And not by much, but you remain our Jeopardy champion. A 2-day total now of $28,999. Congratulations. Aaron will be there.
And he'll be back on tonight's show to defend his title.
Go get him.
Man, that's so cool. I mean, imagine being able to say, yes, no, I a multi-time Jeopardy
Right?
champion. Good for him.
It's 8:12, and that's time for a check on the weather. It's brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. You might see a few lingering showers this morning, but sunshine by afternoon today, 57 our high. We'll cloud up tomorrow, 55, and sadly the timing is still stands here on Friday. We're going to see the rain return. It'll be kind of steady by evening hours and heavy overnight, 54 for our high, and then tapering off to showers and sun breaks on Saturday. Right now it's 51 in Seattle.
Remember those days of emptying the trick-or-treat candy bucket and there's water just
all on
the bottom?
Or the soggy pillowcase.
Yeah. All right. It's 8:13. Let's go to Chris Sullivan for traffic.
And we are still working with this active traffic alert on eastbound I-90 as we work our way across Mercer Island. Crash at Island Crest Way. Only the HOV lane and the left general purpose lane are open, and we are looking at an hour drive to go across from Seattle to Bellevue on I-90. That is a 40-minute delay. It'll only take you 25 plus a free plus the toll to go across 520. So this is one of those days where you have to figure out what your time is worth. But yeah, that is a disastrous drive, and it's also starting to impact the northbound I-5 drive getting past I-90 because we're starting to see it back up that far, if you can believe it. Federal Way to Seattle is running at an hour and 15 minutes, with 50 of those minutes from South Center. Looking at the drive out of Snohomish County, still rolling at about a 30-minute clip, a 30-minute delay, I should say, from Arlington into Everett. That drive at 50 minutes. Because of this crash, we've been working near 529 there in the South Marysville area, so big delays there, followed up by an hour and 20-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. We are just kind of crammed in there today on a typical heavy Wednesday. Northbound 405 struggling through South Center over to 167 even, and then brake lights up the hill all the way, and then a little bit of gap, but overall 45 to 50 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. Valley Freeway 35 out of Auburn with the brake lights there really heavy from 212th in the north end of Kent all the way up to 405, plus the normal stuff in Pacific. Some brake lights southbound 55 into DuPont, getting through JBLM. Federal Way to Seattle, as I gave you already, hour and 15, and eastbound 18 struggling over Tiger Mountain after an earlier crash we had westbound that put a FedEx double truck into the ditch. This report brought to you by KIRO Newsradio.
8:15 now. A traveler thought she booked an American Airlines flight, but was in for a shock at the airport. Here's Katrina Gishard.
She sure was. In a post on TikTok, Alex said everything looked legit.
The flight board was up there. It's got a plane on the board. They start boarding us. They're saying like the numbers, like the group numbers. And I look at a woman nearby and I say, "Do you know how long this flight is?" And she says, "Do you mean the bus?"
Turns out she booked one of Americans' landline connections. It's a 2.5-hour luxury coach ride that still earns frequent flyer miles. So Alex called the whole situation hysterical and says she's learned to always read the fine print.
I can't imagine that's fine print. It seems like that would be obvious.
Can you imagine going through all that TSA headache and then you're getting on a bus?
Just
for
a bus.
2.5 hours?
Okay. Thank you, Katrina. 8:16 now.
News matters. Experience counts. You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Seattle City Attorney candidate Erica Evans says her campaign is about accountability and equity. A former federal prosecutor, Evans wants to overhaul how Seattle handles misdemeanor crimes and rethink policies she calls outdated and sometimes racially biased. Today, we sit down with her to talk about her vision for public safety and her personal history that shaped it. Thanks for joining us, Erica.
Thank you for having me.
So I guess the hard question first, why do you want to be their next city attorney?
Because I believe we should deserve to live in a city where we can all feel safe and where we all thrive. And what we've heard from the thousands and thousands of voters we've spoken to on this campaign trail, that's not currently happening. We need experienced leaders that have, the heart and the grit and the actual background in public safety to really bring solutions to the things we're seeing in our city.
What makes you the right fit for the job?
I think my experience is the biggest thing that makes me the right fit. I look at my experience being a city prosecutor in the city attorney's office, being a defense lawyer for the city of Seattle, being a pro tem judge, seeing what justice looks like from a different perspective on the bench in the same types of courts that the city prosecutors go into. And most recently, my experience being an assistant United States attorney, a very difficult job to get, one that I was really honored, and it was a dream job, to be a federal prosecutor. I was responsible for violent crimes in our district, which includes the city of Seattle, and I was also one of the 2 civil rights prosecutors that represented the Western District of Washington. All those things coupled give me the experience that's necessary because I've worked in public safety my entire career. And that's what's needed in this role, folks that have been boots on the ground working in public safety.
One of the things that got my attention is you don't like the soda and soap zones. Can you walk us through your thinking there?
Yes, so soap and soda is something that we did over about a decade ago when I was working as a city prosecutor. And what I learned in that experience is that soap and soda does not stop behaviors. It just really moves it around to different parts of the city. And as the city attorney, we're responsible for the whole city, not certain particular areas. What we also learned with data that we got back is that it was being disproportionately applied to people of color and people that are in need of services. And to be clear, as the city attorney, it's up to city council, laws that they make. And it's also up to judges. So I can say, we're going to use our prosecutorial discretion to know that these are harmful policies and not criminally charge someone for being in a banishment zone. But they are still things that the judge, with their discretion, they can impose on someone. But these were laws that were repealed in 2020 because that data shows that they were being disproportionately applied to people of color, that they weren't stopping behavior, and that they were just moving it to the behavior to different neighborhoods in the city. And what I've learned on this campaign trail, speaking with voters, even here in Eastlake, folks are concerned when people are just getting moved around. I've walked the streets on 12th and Jackson and seen the suffering, seeing how the soap and soda, it's not working.
If that's not working, what will?
Yeah. What I've learned, being responsible for going after the traffickers that are pumping in, hundreds of thousands of fentanyl pills into our streets, people that are trafficking humans against their will. That is where the focus should be, being good partners to make sure that we're getting the traffickers that are doing these harmful things in our city off the streets. And that is a role that the city attorney can absolutely play in being a good partner with the King County prosecutors and the assistant United States attorneys, work I used to personally do to make sure we're actually addressing the supply of, these drugs coming in. Another thing, We were talking earlier, you look at what's happening in Aurora. I've spoken with neighbors there that they are not happy with what's happening currently right now. And you can see with the results from the primary that we won those areas. We won those Aurora corridors because voters are smart and they see what's happening. The evidence is in our streets right now. And folks know that what's currently being championed under the current city attorney leadership is just talking points, but it's not actually delivering the real results that we deserve in our city.
When we talk about crime rates, I think we're all relieved to see that violent crime is down from what was just a massive high. But property crimes remain annoyingly high. And these are crimes that they're not victimless crimes. You know, people getting robbed. It's a real violation. You are thinking of reimagining how the city attorney's office prosecutes those sorts of crimes. What goes into that thought process? How would it be different?
Yeah, I think there absolutely needs to be accountability. I agree that property crimes are not a victimless crime. One thing that, I've been hearing from voters is the delay when something happens to their property to get, compensation. One thing that we want to bring is a victims compensation fund. So victims of property crimes are able to get the money, immediately and not have to wait for sometimes a slow system. You talked about violent crimes being down, and that is good. That's work I've done as a federal prosecutor in the violent crimes unit, actually going after folks that are committing violent crimes in our city. To be clear, the city attorney doesn't really deal with a lot of violent crimes. And when we looked at the data that was recently released from the FBI, Seattle is fourth in the country in overall crime, and that's not something to be proud of. We can do so much better. And I think it really comes with having leaders that have been boots on the ground, working in public safety. And that's the experience that I bring that really, I think, sets me apart from my opponent. I've been someone that's been working in the trenches on public safety. My opponent has been someone that's just been consistently running for office. She ran for city council, ran as a Republican for lieutenant governor, and then ran for this office. And so I think the voters our voters here in Seattle are smart, and they know what's up when it comes to someone with actual experience and someone that's actually put their heart into making our streets safer.
Talking with Erica Evans, who wants to be Seattle's next city attorney. Have you endorsed a candidate for mayor?
No, the city attorney is the lawyer for the mayor. And one of our ethical responsibilities as lawyers is to, serve future clients with the uttermost professionalism and integrity. And I'm excited to serve who our voters are going to elect as the next mayor.
Well, Erica, that's all the time we have for you today. Best of luck to you, and we will be speaking with you down the line.
I can't wait for that. Thank you both so much.
It's 8:23. That's time for traffic. We do that every 10 minutes on the threes. So what do you have, Sully?
Well, just again, another example of how one crash can really impact multiple different corridors. We're working with this 40-minute delay on westbound I-90 that goes basically from I-5 all the way across to Mercer Island, where we still only have 2 out of 4 lanes open, the left general purpose lane and the HOV lane. Been like that for a while. It's an hour drive from Seattle to Bellevue on I-90. So what we now have is about a 10 to 15-minute delay under the convention center trying to go north to 520. So people can avoid that massive backup and pay the toll. So that's now impacting that. It's also impacting northbound I-5 past I-90, and that's why we are so slow from the beginnings of Boeing Field on up. It's 50 minutes from South Center. That's about a 10-minute delay, and an hour and 15 all the way from Federal Way. Coming down from the north end, we're still seeing about a 35-minute delay on southbound I-5 from Arlington to Everett. That's because of a crash south of 529. Bumper to bumper, big time, 50 minutes from Arlington to Everett, and then hour and 20-minute trips from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. Standard drives for you guys. The Rented to Bellevue drive at about 48 minutes now. The Valley Freeway still well over an hour and 10 with the brakes right where they should be. This report brought to you by FlySeaportAir.com, introducing 20 convenient flights per day between Boeing Field and Portland. Easy parking, no TSA on Seaport Airlines. Book today, FlySeaportAir.com.
Touchdown Seahawks!
Celebrating 50 years of Seahawks football.
Number 54, Bobby Wagner.
Linebacker, one of the finest of his generation. He set just about every tackling record that can be set. He was the heart and soul of one of the best defenses to ever play in the National Football League.
Since the beginning, KIRO is where Seattle and the Pacific Northwest have heard the Seahawks play. Here's to the next 50 years.
Welcome to this week's Puget Sound Express Whale Report. A super pod of Biggs orcas has spent the past week hunting in the waters between Seattle and Port Townsend, according to naturalists from Puget Sound Express. A pod of orcas generally refers to a specific family group. A super pod refers to a larger grouping from multiple families. Right now, the T-99s, T-137s, and members of the T-38 family are gathered together and dispatching seals, sea lions, and harbor porpoises. Tours are also seeing humpback whales and minke whales this time of year. Family-run Puget Sound Express offers daily guaranteed whale watching tours departing from Edmonds. These half-day tours are Seattle's most popular and well-reviewed whale tours. Puget Sound Express also offers tours out of Port Townsend. Don't miss out on your chance to see orcas and humpbacks in the wild. Family-run Puget Sound Express guarantees you'll see whales or your next trip is absolutely free. Book online at PugetSoundExpress.com.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977, and we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Whatever temperatures this winter brings, your friendly and knowledgeable Bryant dealer is ready to help. Your dealer is committed to achieving a high level of training and skills, backed by outstanding products from one of the industry's most trusted names, Bryant. Whether you need a quick fix or an entirely new heating system, your local Bryant dealer will do whatever it takes for your family's comfort.
Schedule an appointment today. Visit BryantNorthwest.com for a dealer near you. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Are your investment dollars working as hard as they should be? You've spent years building your future. Don't let outdated advice put it at risk. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. We're a veteran-owned firm proud to bring a new standard of financial care to the Seattle area. Our nationally recognized advisors are fiduciaries, ethically bound to put your interests first. That's the highest standard of care in the industry. As a privately held company, we answer to you, our valued clients, not shareholders. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a customized plan. From Bellevue to Tacoma, get advice you can count on. It's time to take a fresh look at your financial plan. Call Trajan Wealth, 206-656-3300. That's 206-656-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct Access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Guys, tired all the time, gaining weight, low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. Right now, Revive Men's Health Washington is making it easier to get answers with a comprehensive wellness panel. It's not just a lab test, it's where better performance begins. Our providers will check your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. A $400 value for just $99, or free if you start treatment. Over 120,000 men have trusted Revive to restore their energy, mood, and confidence. So if you're ready to feel better and live stronger, call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Offer ends November 30th. Must medically qualify. Terms apply. Contact us for full offer details.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:31. It was a scary scene in Seattle. A driver in crisis hit a string of cars and caused a van to flip over. All of it was caught on video.
KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey is here live with the latest. Luke?
Yeah, take a look. If you're watching on the YouTube feed, this is something else. And we're going to load that video up here. You can see my cursor. I hit play when we were recording it. Look at that. That car, what you're looking at in this video, runs through an intersection at Aurora Avenue North and 130th, right off to the left of the screen. If you could pan around, you can't. You'd see the Chick-fil-A right there, just to give you kind of an idea where this is. That car goes right through that intersection. Police say she ran a red light. This is a woman driver in crisis, and then slammed into a white van, causing that van to flip onto its side. The driver of that van was trapped inside for a while. Then the car keeps continuing and smashes into 3 other vehicles that were sitting in traffic right there at the red light. The victims range in ages from 63 years old to a 6-year-old. Credit independent journalist Steve Hickey for grabbing this video, known as Photog Steve, and putting it out there. Here it is again. Here's the impact right there. And then you see into those other cars. Traffic was backed up for 2 hours as they were clearing the scene and working on all those victims. Now, Amanda, you asked about injuries, and I said a half an hour ago, minor injuries. I don't mean to downplay it because that's all relative, right? Let's call them non-life-threatening injuries. Several people were taken to Harborview Medical Center to be checked out, but no one died here. That's scary, though, when it involves a 6-year-old as well. Now, back to the driver. She was cited but was not arrested. Police say that she was suffering a mental health episode. She was taken to Harborview as well for mental evaluation.
All right. Thank you, Luke. It's day 29 of the government shutdown, but day 2 for air traffic controllers who are without a paycheck.
At SeaTac Airport, air traffic controllers spent yesterday inside the airport handing out informational pamphlets to travelers about the shutdown, its impact on controllers and the flying public. Air traffic controllers Vice President Mark Roush.
I think the message is simple. It's just end the shutdown now. We can't expect people that do an honest day's work not get an honest day's pay.
Roush says it shouldn't be political when the safety of air travelers is at stake.
We're learning more about the crash that destroyed an I-90 overpass near Cle Elum. Sources tell King TV investigators have dash cam video showing what happened. It shows a pilot car pulling toward the exit at Bullfrog Road. The semi hauling an oversized tank veered around that pilot car and drove under the bridge. Tank ripped through concrete and steel supports, had to shut the overpass down. State Patrol cited the driver for violating permit rules. Timeline for rebuilding won't be set until December.
Let's check traffic. Once again, we do that every 10 minutes. It's been a busy morning, Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, it is. By the way, what was that driver fined again, Charlie?
7?
No, $250.
$250.
For once, I was being serious. Come on. No, $250. Yeah, it's so hard to tell when I'm joking or when I'm not. That time I was serious. You guessed poorly. Looking at eastbound I-90, we have very heavy brake lights to continue to work with our traffic alert. We have only the HOV lane and left general purpose lane open on Mercer Island, right at Island Crest Way. Backed up all the way onto I-5, if you can believe it. 45 minutes to go from Seattle to Bellevue. Now, 55 minutes to go from Seattle to Bellevue. About a 40-minute delay. And what this is doing is adding about 10 minutes to the drive on northbound I-5 in 2 places. One, getting into Seattle past I-90 because you're backing up onto the freeway. So we're working at 55 minutes just from South Center into downtown and closer to an hour and a half all the way to Federal Way. But it's also adding 10-plus minutes through the convention center up to 520 as people are trying anything they can to bail from I-90, which is to pay the max toll and go across 520. By the way, that's way faster, just if you're curious. Coming down from the north end, I'm hoping we've cleared the crash on southbound I-5 near Marysville. I could use a little help from my KIRO drivers, but it's running at 45 minutes from Arlington to Everett. That crash had been right at 529. The rest of the map, about average. We've got about a 45-minute trip, Renton to Bellevue, about an hour from Puyallup to Renton. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Just a few isolated showers this morning. Otherwise, we're going to see sunshine by afternoon. 57 today, a very pleasant afternoon. Mostly cloudy tomorrow and 55, and then the rain returns on Friday just in time for Halloween. It looks like by evening time, trick-or-treat time, it could be steady rain. It'll be 54 on Friday. Right now it's 51 in Seattle.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
8:36 now. The government shutdown now in its 29th day. And with where things stand, here's News Nation's Kristen Askow.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture does not plan to use a contingency fund for SNAP benefits, so at this point, the federal government will not distribute those funds in November. But that's not the only pressure point lawmakers are facing right now. A union representing federal employees is raising concerns as those workers continue to go without paychecks. The nation's largest union of federal workers says it's time for the shutdown to end. The American Federation of Government Employees, which represents more than 800,000 people, says Congress needs to pass a short-term funding bill immediately.
That bill, with 5 courageous Democrats stepping forward and helping us pass it, could be on the president's desk, signed into law, and this government reopens.
But so far, Democrats.
And Washington is among the states suing over SNAP benefits.
New comments from President Trump about his political future.
In his latest comment about a possible third term, which the Constitution forbids, President Trump told reporters on Air Force One, quote, "It's pretty clear I'm not allowed to run. It's too bad," unquote.
I have my highest poll numbers that I've ever had. And, based on what I read, I guess I'm not allowed to run. So we'll see what happens.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says there's no path for Trump to seek a third term, and he doesn't see a way to amend the Constitution. Johnson said Trump has, quote, "a good time with trolling the Democrats." Steve Kathan, CBS News.
A celebration of the Navy earlier this month had live bombs fired off, reportedly just to entertain President Trump.
At the Navy celebration this month in Norfolk, President Trump and the First Lady watched the military demonstration from the deck of an aircraft carrier. Live bombs were used. Navy destroyers launched missiles and fired shells into the Atlantic Ocean. But according to the Associated Press, original planning for the event called for dummies and not real ammo. The reason for the change? Trump needed to see explosions rather than just a big splash. Not only would dummies have been cheaper, they're also safer. Another military demonstration in California this month saw a misfired live artillery round that led to shrapnel spraying onto a freeway. Matt Piper, CBS News.
No one was injured when that shrapnel struck 2 California Highway Patrol vehicles on October 18th.
Well, here is a first. Researchers in Britain are testing out a revolutionary breath test for one of our deadliest cancers. Here's CBS's Vicky Barker in London.
Here in Britain, 1 in 5 patients with pancreatic cancer dies within 30 days of diagnosis. The 5-year survival rate is 1 to 3%. That's because the symptoms, back pain, fatigue, nausea, are so vague, diagnosis usually comes too late. But the breath test that's being trialed here could catch pancreatic cancer in its earliest, still treatable stage. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
CBS's Steve Kathan has a look at Game 4 of the World Series.
The Toronto Blue Jays have evened up the World Series at 2 games apiece.
There's a fly ball to deep left center field. Headed back there. It is gone.
Vlad Guerrero's 3rd inning home run on Fox put the Jays ahead for good in a 6-2 win over the Dodgers in Los Angeles. Game 5 is tonight in L.A. And Major League Baseball says U.S. viewers for the first 2 games of the World Series dropped 14% from last year's matchup between the Dodgers and Yankees. But Canadian and Japanese audiences set records. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
It's 8:39. What do you have for us coming up in traffic, Sully?
Well, the same 2 issues we've been dealing with for most of the morning. Eastbound I-90 across Mercer Island and southbound 5 getting through Marysville. We'll break it down next.
Your favorite Seahawks gear? Check. Face paint? Check. The Mike McDonald preview on KIRO Newsradio? Check.
We want to win the game.
Seahawks head coach Mike McDonald joins the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel, in the final interview before every Seahawks game. Friday mornings, the Mike McDonald Preview, only on Seattle's Morning News.
I'm really proud of the work that we've done. I'm proud of the guys' spirit.
This is where the 12s hear the Hawks. KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Once again, homeowners have voted Valentine Roofing the best roofing company in the Pacific Northwest. That makes 3 years running. Hey, this is Jake Skorheim. That's why I was confident when that red Valentine van pulled up to my house, I was going to get the Valentine experience. Seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and a team that always goes the extra mile. Valentine Roofing helps you protect what matters most and backs every new roof with a lifetime warranty. But they do more than just roofs. If you need your gutters cleaned or installed, attic insulation, even exterior cleaning, and custom holiday lighting, you can count on the pros at Valentine. And if you have a leak and need help now, with Valentine's Leak Stop Guarantee, they'll stop the leak in your old roof for free until your brand new Valentine roof can be safely installed. Because Valentine doesn't just replace roofs, they protect homes, and they start protecting yours the moment you call. And with flexible financing options, including 0 down and 0% interest, taking care of your home has never been easier. Go to ValentineRoof.com or call 206-ROOFING and get your free estimate today. That's 206-ROOFING.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
The markets and the economy will change, but you should always know what you can rely on from your financial advisor. I'm John Ramsire with Baird Private Wealth Management in Seattle. With deep planning and investment expertise, Baird's financial advisors have guided individuals and families through changing markets for more than 100 years. And in all that time, our guiding principle has never changed. Our clients come first, always. Discover the Baird difference at rwbaird.com/Seattle.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
At Bank of America, we asked our people, how do you take ownership of your career?
I'm able to grow my way by putting the priorities that I have for my career first.
I thrive on being a leader who's behind the team, not in front of the team.
Every few years, I'm being re-energized because I get to do something different and learn something new.
See how our teammates are growing in their careers at bankofamerica.com/great place to work. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be an equal opportunity employer.
8:43 now. Chris Sullivan is watching a busy Wednesday morning commute.
Yeah, you're going to be behind schedule for most spots by at least 20, 25 minutes. It's closer to a 40-minute delay trying to get across the lake on I-90 because of this crash that continues to block 2 lanes. Only the HOV lane and the left general purpose lane are open at Island Crest Way, but it looks like they're in the process of maybe cleaning it up and getting the cones out of the way. Either way, it's an hour drive from Seattle to Bellevue on I-90. That is a 40-minute trip. It's backing up right to about I-5, but people are now continuing through downtown and going up to 520. So that has added a significant amount of time to the drive. It's an hour alone on northbound I-5 just from South Center into downtown. That's about a 25, 30-minute delay just on that spot at this late part of the drive, which puts us to about an hour and a half all the way from Federal Way. Plus, we're losing that 10 minutes getting up. Our good friend Adam, the Staples driver, says people are trying to use the CD lanes maybe to get around that, getting off of the downtown exits. That's not working because of the ramp meters. So big time delays coming up. Several corridors caught up in that. We are looking at about a 30-minute delay still on southbound I-5 from Arlington into Everett. 45-minute trip for you guys. We've been working a crash on southbound 5 just right at 529 most of the morning. And then you have an hour and a half trip from Everett to Seattle. It is just not moving from 145th all the way into downtown. It is really ugly there. Hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue. Rest of the map manageable. Renton to Bellevue, 45 minutes. Valley Freeway, under an hour. And we've gone back to an all-stop on westbound 18, getting up to Tiger Mountain because of an overnight crash involving a double FedEx truck that took out a bunch of trees and ended up in the ditch. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube. Click subscribe and get fresh video content daily.
Starting the day with cloudy skies, just a few isolated showers, but sunshine by afternoon and 57. Cloudy for tomorrow, 55, and Halloween on Friday. Showers early on with the rain picking up throughout the day. 54 the high on Friday. It's 51 in Seattle right now.
Dictionary.com has officially revealed its newest word of the year, and with it, here's KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard.
Chances are, if you have a young teenager or are a middle school teacher, you might be tired of hearing 6-7! Dictionary. Dictionary.com has chosen 6-7 as its 2025 word of the year.
But it's 2 words. I'm sorry.
Well,
Carry on.
It's a number. It's not even a word.
All right, we're having so much fun. The term has been made popular by Gen Alpha on social media and in schools across the country. It's become so pervasive and even bothersome. And I told you last week that some schools are now banning it.
We are not saying the word 6-7 anymore. If you do, you have to write a 67-word essay.
Other terms that made the short list of finalists for 2025's Word of the Year included over-tourism, tariff, and tradwife.
I think that us grown-ups saying 6-7 so much and embracing it, I think Gen Alpha is by next week going to 6-7. What's that? I don't even remember that word anymore.
It's going to be gone.
Okay.
6-7.
No, it won't be because we have Sully.
A quick word here. The Seattle Seahawks season approaching at the halfway point, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to watch the Seahawks game November 9th. All you need to do is open the KIRO Newsradio app, click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't have the app, simply text app, APP, to 888-973-5476. We will send you a link to download, and you can enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, November 3rd.
And coming up, G. Scott is going to give us a sneak peek at his upcoming interview with Bruce Harrell, which features an interesting guest as Seattle's mayoral race enters its final stretch. That's next here on Seattle's Morning News.
Hey, Mike Salk here. Who's got family coming to town this holiday season? I know I do. My parents will be staying at my house for a few days over Thanksgiving. And obviously, you want to make sure your home is prepared. You want to present a warm environment. And that starts with a well-heated, properly insulated home. Make sure your insulation is ready for that challenge this year by calling Crawl Pros. They'll come to your house, just like they did at mine, do a free corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and your attic. If your home has damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, get it fixed before the cold weather really shows up. If you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%. But you got to act now because many of these rebates are ending at the end of the year, including federal incentives. Call Crawl Pros. They're the crawl space experts, and learn what's going on behind that crawl space and attic hatch for free. Then see what energy rebates you're eligible for. Go to crawlpros.com.
If you're wearing glasses or contacts, but you need reading glasses or bifocals now, you need to join Doctors Kopstein and King for the K2 Vision RLE live webinar this Thursday at noon to learn about refractive lens exchange from K2 Vision RLE. This free webinar is a perfect opportunity to meet the doctors and have them answer all your questions about K2 Vision RLE. Questions like, how much does RLE cost? Is financing available? Does insurance pay for RLE? These questions and lots more will be covered this Thursday at noon during the K2 Vision RLE free live webinar. K2 Vision surgeons have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when RLE is right for you. K2 Vision RLE. No glasses, no contacts, no readers. Plus, no more cataracts. Don't miss the free live webinar this Thursday at noon. Register at K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Ooh, mate, remember those yodelers we met in the Alps? I wired them euros from the bank, and they sent me their yodels in a can.
You wired money for canned yodels? That is so dumb. Banks are slow, and they hide fees and overseas transfers and exchange rates.
Well, I don't like the sound of that.
If you're gonna send money to Europe, just use Wise. Wise is super fast and never hides fees.
Smart.
You can save up to 70% when you send money abroad. Be smart. Get Wise. Learn more by visiting wise.com. T's and C's apply.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
And joining us now from the G and Ursula show, and importantly, the Reset podcast is G. Scott. G, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
We wanted to talk to you about what we're seeing online because we're seeing preview clips of something coming up today on the podcast.
Yeah, at 1 o'clock today. Think of it as a conversation, right? It wasn't an interview. It wasn't a press conference. It was, imagine walking into a barbershop and seeing three men from three different generations talking about what's happening today, specifically what's happening when it comes to the city of Seattle. So myself, Mayor Bruce Harrell, and Doug Baldwin, we sat down and we had a conversation. And it would be no different than conversations that we had before. The only difference is this time the cameras were on. And so while it was on, we just sat there and talked about what's happening in Seattle and why people feel a certain way and all that good stuff.
What were the highlights for you?
I think the highlights were for me was sitting there hearing Doug talk about why the first time he endorsed Bruce, the first time when he was the mayor, and why it would be easy. So for an example, usually you see these endorsements, and Doug really talks about this. He was like, what? I'm endorsed by this person. I'm endorsed by that person. So you see that and the voter says, oh, okay, they're endorsed. And then Doug basically explained, well, what's an endorsement, right? He said, if I endorse you, you're my friend. If I endorse you, that means that you don't just see me at the beginning, you're going to continue to see me. And so I think what Doug gets to the bottom of is just talking to him and having that conversation as a friend. So that really stood out to me. Another thing that stood out to me is our conversation about, it was then that I gave the example. I talked about Welcome Back, Kotter, the room, and I asked you guys to envision your homeroom or your classroom back in the day, and you divide the class up into who's and where they're sitting in the class. And we talked a lot about how today it seems like those in the back of the class and those in the front of the class are the only people that gets talked about. But the people in the middle of the class get forgotten about. And what I mean by the middle of the class is these are the working class people that live in Seattle. These are the working class people right now that are trying to pay rent and going paycheck to paycheck because housing affordability. Now, granted, housing affordability and expenses and inflation, if you really break it down, it's not all on the mayor. You know what I mean? But, there are things that can be done.
Did he give you any indication he recognizes he has an uphill battle in front of him? I'm thinking about how he got clobbered in the primary. Mm-hmm. He is showing up on all sorts of different shows and podcasts. He's been on with Curly. He was on with Jason Rance. He's going on with you. What is his viewpoint? Did he acknowledge it?
We didn't acknowledge whether, look, it's obvious, right? Like in August, there was a primary and he didn't do well in the primary. And so right now, I think everybody's is paying attention to what's going on. We didn't necessarily talk about that, but we did talk about that answer that he gave about repeat offenders and all that kind of stuff. Those getting arrested. I'll just save it for you. Let me just say that it wasn't like so why did you say that? Again, imagine being in a barbershop and imagine G, the Tasmanian devil. Man, why the hell you say that, man? What in the world was that?
I can't wait. It sounds like it's going to be a great conversation.
It's different, but then again, me and media's also different.
Reset podcast drops at 1 this afternoon.
All right, let's check traffic. Sully, take it away.
Hey, we continue to work with about a 45-minute delay getting across the lake on I-90. 2 lanes remain blocked. Only the HOV lane, far left lane are open as you work your way past Island Crest Way on eastbound I-90. It's an hour from Seattle to Bellevue. That's added a lot more volume on northbound I-5, who would normally be getting off there. They're now going up to 520, and that's added to our drive. It's an hour from South Center into downtown. That's a 20-minute delay just on that portion, hour and 20 all the way. Good news is we've cleared the crash up in Marysville. We're back down to about 30 minutes from Arlington to Everett. Everett. So that's certainly a good day. Now, looking at Valley Freeway, about 50 minutes from end to end, which is great. 45 from Renton to Bellevue, and we continue to work with the closure of westbound 90 near the Raging River as they continue to work with that early morning crash involving a double semi. This report brought to you by Wilcox Family Farms Eggs. Cage-free eggs are good, range-free better, mobile pasture eggs are the best. Choose the best for your family. Locally fresh, Wilcox Family Farms Eggs.
We're headed for a high in the mid-50s today. Afternoon sun right now in Seattle. We have sunshine and 48.
At Les Schwab, we've been changing the tire game for more than 70 years. Our Go the Extra Mile service means more hustle, less hassle. We design our own exclusive tires to give you more tires made for the road you drive, less compromise. All backed by America's best tire warranty included with every tire we sell. We're talking more unbeatable tire warranty, less charging you extra, like the other guys. It's why you get more from less. Book an appointment at leschwab.com.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
The stock market's on fire. AI stocks are performing at all-time levels. We hope you, like many of our investors, have taken advantage of it. A famous man once said, buy low, sell high. There's also $8 trillion of cash sitting on the sidelines. Investors are either scared or they don't know where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rireka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares profit with our investors. We've been doing it for 19 years, averaging double-digit returns with zero investor losses. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital and invest in our family of funds. From a 3-year investment with double-digit returns to only a 90-day commitment returning 7%. We also accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
It's always such a pleasure for me to catch up with you, Shannon O'Kelly, President and CEO of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. And as I understand it, calendar year is wrapping up. There's never a better time to take care of your aches and pains. Why?
Well, it's always a great time to come see us here at IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. We'll take care of your aches and pains. We'll get you better. But particularly, Brock, at the end of the year, most people have met their deductibles. They may have HSA, may have FSA funds. So use the opportunity to use your insurance to treat those aches and pains so you're not taking them into the new year. So you're healthy, fit, and you're excited about the new year. That's what it's all about. Here at IRG, we are so dedicated to making sure our patients really understand the insurance because it's a complex world. So when you call us, we're going to help you navigate your insurance. But I will tell everybody listening right now, if you've met your deductible, get your aches and pains treated here at IRG. We'll take care of you. We'll take care of your insurance. We'll take care of your family. We'll take care of everybody.
Clinics up and down the Puget Sound for you to go visit or see them online at irgpt.com.
This week at Jazz Alley, Elvin Bishop's Big Fun Trio joins forces with Grammy-winning bluesman Cedric Burnside for 4 nights of down-home, high-energy blues. Shows run Thursday through Sunday. Tickets at jazzalley.com.
Your best source for local news, KIRO News Radio.